What is up, everybody? I have Elias with me right now. What's up, man?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Doing good. Prime time is running late, so it's me and you right now.
I'm filling in. Yeah. I got my, if you didn't see, got my Let's Talk Jets shirt.
Doing
So
good. Prime time is
perfect.
running late, so
Oh my God. It's
it's
feeding
me and
back
you
to
right
me.
now.
I'm filling in. Yeah. There we go.
Sure
So
looks
yeah.
good though.
Thanks, man. It's awesome. Super comfortable. So yeah.
So the news of the day, right off the bat, is Marcus May gets franchise tag, which is no surprise whatsoever.
Yep.
Now the question is, do you think the Jets get a deal done with him over the next couple of months, or is this something that's going to drag out?
I mean, I'd try to, but I don't think it's the biggest deal if you don't. I think it's, they've talked about how they want to keep him and whatnot, but I mean, it's not really the end of the world if you can't. So I wouldn't be angry about it, but I wouldn't mind either. So, I mean, it's nice to kind of, keep one of your own, but also, we get a little attached to the guys. He's a good player, but I mean, is he worth the money he wants? It just really depends on what he wants, what Douglas is willing to give him. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on the free market, I'm curious to see what he would get. I mean, if he, right now he's gonna get what 10.5 or 10.8 million a year under
Like
the franchise tag. I mean, if you give him what 3 years, 30 million, that's probably fair, something like that. But I mean, I'm not gonna go
Yeah, I
break
do
the bank
that.
for him. This is a good insurance policy. You have him here, can't go nowhere. If it doesn't work out, you play underneath the tag and revisit it next year. Like it's
Exactly.
so everybody's prime time will be here. You got to keep in mind, prime time's also a baseball coach. Now his season's picking up.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so he's
Oh yeah.
very busy.
Yeah. I remember on a past stream you guys talking about him having to like pull kids who are getting shelled and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
he's got to stream one of his games, man. I can do the play by play. I can.
Oh, I'm
I'm a
down
big
for that.
baseball
That'd be
guy,
awesome.
so and it's out of here. So
That'd be
yeah,
funny as shit.
I'm gonna bring his camera to one of his games and get multiple angles or whatnot. That'd be hilarious. Yeah.
So the other thing is, what do you think about Dak getting his big contract finally?
I'm happy for him, man, because
Yeah.
he's he got hurt. It's good to see guys getting taken care of. But the thing I'm most excited for, finally, the media is going to shut up about it.
Yep.
I mean, I've been unsubscribed from ESPN for weeks now. Get Up and First Take, those shows are just terrible nowadays.
Yep.
I mean, they've never been great, but I mean, half the guys don't know. They're just a bunch of stat readers who don't really know much about football, and it's just scripted debates. So I mean, I'm happy about it's being over with that. Guys can finally stop talking about it. But I'm happy for the guy, man. So it's good to see. It was about time. So I didn't think he was going to hit the market anyway, so I'm not surprised. Either he was going to get franchise tagged, and then they're going to come up with a deal, or they were going to come up with a deal now. So I'm
glad he got paid, dude. He's done everything right for the Cowboys. They should have paid him last year. He bet on himself, and unfortunately got hurt, which was sad. But he's done everything right, man. He's gotten better every year. He puts up big numbers. Yep. Yeah, and like I'm happy for him. Like like some guys you want to see get paid. Like he earned it. It's good to get that big bash of security. Now he's be set for life, which is perfect. And then I guess the next,
also like what he's done with like mental health and talking about like that. I know his brother. I know what you guys are big with that. I think his brother took his own life, stuff like that. So it's good to see. Guys. I remember I saw a clip of Hayden Hurst, the tight end from the Falcons, who dealt with the whole situation himself, where he used to play baseball and that kind of really hurt him. So I saw a clip of them kind of talking about it. So yeah, I'm happy to see a guy. He's a great guy, man. So, as much as most, non-Cowboys fans dislike the Cowboys, I don't think you can really dislike the guy. And he's, he used to be, a lot of people would say, oh, he's not really that good. He's just a game manager. He's really proven that he's improved a ton. He's a top 10 quarterback. So, he deserves to get paid. And honestly, like I was worried that the injury was going to affect how much money he makes. I think he's worth $40 million a year with this quarterback market. I don't think he was, what is he? Probably like the 7th best quarterback in that kind of range.
Yep.
So, yeah, totally deserving of that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the one thing everybody's like, well, you can't pay him this, you can't pay him that. When you have a franchise quarterback, they're going to make that kind of money. Like, this is why Russell Wilson's pulling the shit he's pulling. He wants that big money. This is what, Mahomes got God knows how much. And then you look at all the guys coming up, all the guys getting ready to get paid. Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, all these guys, man, they're all going to be in the same ballpark of that money, man. They're all going to be over $35 million a year. Every one of them.
So actually, if you don't mind, I was bored today, so I made an entire mock offseason for the Jets because I had nothing better to do. So I want to get your thoughts on this. All right, so starting with the cuts, Alex Lewis, Greg Van Roten, Ryan Griffin, obvious. Obviously Henry Anderson's gone, but he would be on here if he wasn't. This one's not really getting talked about. I doubt it's going to happen, but I hope. Chuma Edoga, he's terrible.
Terrible.
Another McCagnon just bust, coming out of USC, like a 3rd-round pick. He was so bad last year. Get him out of here. Josh Doxson, just like a depth wide receiver that didn't play last year. He's like a 1st-round bust. Bye. Sam Ficken, they continuously
terrible.
He's terrible. Get rid of him. They like released him and then brought him back. I don't get it. And then I'm cutting Crowder in this just because what I'm going to do in free agency. I wouldn't hate if they didn't cut him. This is just, I'm going to get to why I cut him, because when you see what I did, you'll see why. So the guys to bring back, Brian Poole, that's kind of the obvious one. I also wrote Marcus May to franchise tag him. That obviously just happened. Then Neville Hewitt, decent depth linebacker. Matthias Farley, he's like a special teams guy, and you retained Boyer, so that's kind of his guy. He was like a special teams captain. He's at best a 4th safety on the actual defensive side of the ball, but for special teams, bring him back. Arthur Mollett, depth corner / safety, depth defensive back. He's not going to play much, but I mean, who cares? Josh Adams, here, I did this for you.
Thank you. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well done.
Guy, man. Yeah, man. Josh Adams, bring him back. He's like a restricted free agent. He's getting paid nothing. He can be like a 4th running back. And he's doing flashes, man. It's kind of like Vincent Smith, super depth wide receiver. Doesn't really matter. People were talking about him being a potential starter. I never saw that, but I mean, as a depth receiver, injuries are going to happen. Why not? Harvey Lange, another special teams guy who can play linebacker if you absolutely have to. And then Pat Elflein as just a backup guard. I don't want him starting, but as a backup guard, he was fine last year. And he's
versatile too. He plays center too.
Right. Yeah. So injuries are inevitably going to happen. So I'd bring him back. So then getting into free agency, Curtis Samuel, he's going to be and I don't know if I went too overboard here, but I knew some people, think we're going to get everyone. I don't think we're going to everyone, but with us having cap space in a lot of teams, I think we can get a lot done. So Curtis Samuel, he's kind of your typical like Shanahan, LaFleur guy, a lot of yard after catch, versatile weapon. Bring him in. Then the big guy, Joe Thuney. Scherf just got tagged, so he's going to be expensive, but it looks like the Jets really wanted him last year. I was listening to a podcast with Connor Hughes today, and he was talking about how, a big reason why they didn't spend money last year was they didn't really see any guys worth the money other than Thuney, and then he unfortunately got tagged. So hopefully he doesn't this year. It doesn't look like they're going to get a long-term deal done, but he's going to get paid a ton, and I think it'll be worth it. Some people brought up like the guys who leave New England don't really tend to play too well, but I'm honestly willing to take that risk just because we need so much help at guard anyways. And I didn't write any contract information down. Just I'm not knowledgeable enough about that. And then Zach Pascal from the Colts as like a wide receiver 4. Injuries are going to happen. He's a pretty decent player, so I'd bring him in. Jonnu Smith, tight end from the Titans. Being your number 1 tight end. Herndon, I think, could be decent as a number 2 tight end. I'm obviously cutting Griffin here. So, they have Kittle in San Francisco. So with, LaFleur. So you need someone who can play tight end, who doesn't, drop the ball every other, time. And then this I thought was interesting. Matt Scurry, I think his name is, from center from the Ravens. This way you can move McGovern over to guard. And I kind of wanted to go heavy O-line and free agency versus the draft. Just
how old is he?
I'm pretty sure he's young. Let me check. I
like the idea of getting a center, but I wonder how old he was. I forgot.
So he is 28.
Oh, perfect.
Which isn't too bad. Which that's a good age. So you're not going to get a 23-year-old in free agency. That's not how it works. But I mean, I think he'll get like $7 million a year. I don't really know. So yeah, and then you can move McGovern over, and then you can have your draft picks. You don't have to, if you draft any offensive linemen, which I'll get to in a sec, you don't really have to throw them into the fire too early. And then Romeo Okwara, edge rusher from the Lions. He's improved a lot this past couple of years. He won't be too expensive. So I'm going to draft an edge rusher. We're going to get to that, but you need a legitimate, guy who can actually rush the passer. So yeah, Richard Sherman, I'm bringing him in on no more than a 2-year deal, but he's a great mentor. He's a solid guy. So I think they can get that done. Jamal Williams, running back from the Packers.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to spend all this money on a running back. I don't think he's going to get paid too much. So why not? And then Ryan suck up a kicker because we need someone who can actually kick. Trades, if you know me, Sam Darnold, get his ass out of here. I'm trading him to Washington. We have Primetime's not here. We can talk all the shit we want.
That's right. Perfect.
Sam Darnold to Washington for their 2nd round pick. And then I doubt this is going to happen, but this is actually a blockbuster I was thinking about. Trade our 2nd round pick to the Saints for Marshawn Lattimore because they're way up against the cap and they need to get rid of some guys. And
supposedly they're going to re-sign him to a long-term deal. At least they're trying to.
I don't know what money. They're like $50 million under the cap. Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to do that. And I'm pretty sure he didn't have the greatest year last year, which benefits us. You don't have to give him like a 1st round pick for him. So, I mean, he could be your cornerback 1. So I doubt that's going to happen. That's kind of a fantasy thing, but yeah, mock draft. A lot of these late, I'm not like a draft expert. A lot of these late guys, I don't know too much about. I just went on based on like the website I was using and like what position we need. So Zach Wilson, quarterback at number 2, don't trade back. I've actually been watching him a lot. He's made some unbelievable throws, man. He's got an absolute cannon, really mobile. I'm not too worried about the whole, competition level just because it's more about, showing traits and whatnot. And, obviously the NFL is different competition from college. I get it. You're playing against teams like Coastal Carolina and small schools, but honestly, Patrick Mahomes went to Texas Tech and a lot of quarterbacks.
I mean, Zach Wilson's arm talent is crazy, man. He's got some, yeah.
And then Rashad Bateman at 23, wide receiver, and then Patrick Jones, pass rusher in the 2nd round, and then another Notre Dame guy for you, Liam Eichenberg. He's a left tackle, but I think you can kind of sit him a year behind George Fant and move him over to right tackle for the future. The stuff I've read about him, he's a good run blocker. I don't know if he's going to be there that late, but in the website I was using, he was. So yeah. And then this guy, Chaz Surratt, outside linebacker. You need a coverage outside linebacker in this system outside of Mosley. So got him. Ben Cleveland, a guard in the 4th round. And then Chuba Hubbard, running back. So you can have like 4 guys like Williams, Pirine, Hubbard, Adams. And Ty Johnson. Maybe you don't even need a running back. It's good to have depth.
Yeah, how many running backs do you need if you got Jamal Williams? Because Jamal Williams, you're probably going to sign him to at least a 3-year deal, you would think, right? Or more than that.
Yeah, so what? Jamal Williams, Ty Johnson, LaMichael Pierce. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe you don't take the running back here, actually. I mean, unless you believe in Josh Adams to be running back 4, which
no, he'd be gone, man. You bring in Jamal Williams, man. Some of these guys are going,
Yeah. I mean, I'd want to. Ty Johnson's the guy I want to keep the most.
Me too.
Also, Pirine, I don't think he's going to be anything great. I think he'll be decent, but you spent a 4th round pick on him, so you kind of want to keep him for a decent amount of time. So maybe you don't. Yeah, maybe you don't take the running back there. I should have thought about there. And then cornerback Benjamin Saint. I'm not even trying to pronounce it. Need a good cornerback. And then this guy I thought was interesting. Israel Mukulamu. I'm probably saying that so wrong. He can play corner and safety, which you need depth at those positions. Also, if May and Ashton Davis, you need a 3rd safety.
That's what Salah likes too. He likes to have like versatile pieces in the secondary where they could all play different positions and stuff like that. He's big on that.
And then I just took Trey Walker, a wide receiver, in the 7th round. Just injuries happen, depth piece. You hope he makes the roster, but we'll see. So yeah, that's my plan.
Interesting plan, man. Interesting plan. So your receivers would be who? You'd have
Curtis Samuel.
You cut Crowder. So it'd be Mims, Samuel,
Bateman, and Pascal.
That's not bad either, man. Shit.
And then Braxton Berrios can be your 5. Vincent Smith can be your 6. Plus the draft.
The Jeff Smith pick. And Cage and all these other guys fighting for it. It's interesting.
Oh yeah, Cager. Yeah. Well, he's always been hurt. Another thing too about I have 3 corners. I have Lattimore and Sherman. You got to think though too. Hall got hurt a lot in college. So
yeah,
I hope it doesn't happen.
Lattimore's that's just a pipe dream, dude. Because I think you have to get more than that to get him though. Even though they're in cap hell. I mean, I just think they don't have
leverage, but I mean, yeah, that would be very good, but we'll see.
So your marquee signing would be Thuney, I would guess. Then who's your marquee? Thuney. If you had the one big pay guy, because I don't think Samuel's gonna. I mean, Samuel will get paid well, but I don't think it's gonna be breaking the bank. I think Thuney's gonna be your big money spent will be on him, right?
Yeah, and I don't think getting him and Robinson's realistic. I think if Thuney gets tagged, God forbid, then you got to go all out for Robinson, and then drafted.
Well, he's supposed to get tagged too, isn't he? Well, the Bears have no money though, so how are they going to tag him?
They don't have the cap space. Yeah, I don't think they will, because they don't even have a quarterback on the roster too. Because Trubisky, or besides Foles, so I mean,
or maybe Russell Wilson. You never know if the Russell Wilson rumors are heating up, man. I've listened to who the hell was that? Michael Silver or one of those guys. They were like, listen, like there's actually a lot more. There's still a lot of smoke. There's actually a lot of fire too, though. Like
that is so big for us. Like, imagine if the Seahawks, who's going to be their quarterback? Like Jameis Winston or like Geno Smith? Like if they have a bad year, oh my! And Jamal is just going to be crying trying to get his ass out of there. Imagine if they also hired Gase.
That'd be great. Well, they're also saying who. So I think they said that the Lions aren't going to be tagging Galladay too, so he may be available. What are your thoughts on him?
I like him. I've heard a lot of people say like he's not really a system fit. Like he's a big ball, like jump ball guy, which this system's more about like yards after catch guys.
Right.
So I mean, he's probably probably the wide receiver 3 in this free agency. It probably goes Robinson, Godwin, then Galladay. I mean, I want no part of Juju Smith-Schuster. That dude's just irritating.
Well, I think Godwin's probably going to get. Well, they got to choose between Godwin and Barrett to see who gets tagged, right?
Yeah. Arian said, in the parade, he's like, "You aren't going anywhere," but that doesn't really.
He was hammered too.
I mean, yeah, exactly. that doesn't say anything, but I mean, it's just you're celebrating a Super Bowl. But I mean, Godwin just won a Super Bowl. Do you think he's gonna, unless the pay's amazing, you think he's gonna want to come here for a rebuild?
I mean, he actually said that he didn't want to. He said that he doesn't want to go somewhere like to go to a lesser team. He's like, not about the money. He wants to still win and be on like a productive team. He doesn't want to take all the money and be in a lousy situation. So.
And like, I don't think we're as far as a lot of people say. Like, people say we're like 5 years away, which rebuild, like, look what the Dolphins just did. Like, those long, like, huge rebuilds don't really exist anymore. I mean, they almost made the playoffs last year after the year before. People thought they weren't going to win a game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Jets are probably 2 years away, man. You have 2 good off seasons, like this year, next year. I think they'll be fine. They'll be back. It just comes down to the quarterback. It's always going to be about the quarterback, man. Always.
And like, because primetime isn't here, I got to say this. Why is taking Zach Wilson more of a risk than Sam Darnold? I know it's only a 1-year commitment, but look, people are saying, well, you trade down and then use all those picks next year to draft a quarterback.
Dude, you don't got to tell me, man.
Well, then you're, I'm just saying this because I need to get this off my chest. So then you're saying, all right, I'm going to take a lesser player this year just to delay the inevitable, just to see if Darnold has a shot. And people saying, oh, what about Ryan Tannehill? He got away from Gase. He went to a new team. I'm just saying, like, Darnold, I think he can succeed on a new team. I think he's got to sit for a bit. Tannehill sat for 8 games, and Mariota was playing like shit. So
I see. Like I'm in like the some of the things that we'll go to one of these things. Do you think it's financially possible for us to get Thuney and Lindsley, move McGovern to guard? It's expensive, but of course you can. You can afford both of them. You absolutely can get both of them. The center from the Packers and Thuney, absolutely you can do that.
That'd be a great line, man.
Yeah, move McGovern. But the one thing that Mark Sanchez said that I completely agree with, and people don't want to agree with me, which is fine, is that you bring back Darnold, which is fine. If the Jets say we're going to bring back Darnold, no problem. I will support him the best I can.
I won't be happy, but
he comes out.
I'll say go Sam,
But the minute he doesn't play well, whatever it is, because it's going to happen sooner or later, and that's not being negative. It's just realistic, dude. The fans and media will be all over him, dude. Like there's so much water underneath the bridge now. Here, and just like that, the show is over.
Time. Yep.
I literally logged in for 5 seconds. You weren't
happy about that comment, right?
And that was
you weren't happy about that comment.
I wasn't. No. Because I think that's a shitty reason to move on from a quarterback. If you view him as your best option,
it wasn't the reason why we move on from him. It was just an observation.
It's just true.
Just an observation. We're trying to get our point of view out.
So I see. I didn't miss much in the first 19 minutes. I guess it was just
actually no. You actually missed a 10-minute presentation from Elias of his off-season plan, all his free agency and his draft moves.
Oh,
it was actually pretty impressive. To be honest with you,
I'm gonna have to watch it back.
You're gonna have to. Yeah, you'll have to watch it back. I don't think the viewers.
I'm sure it didn't involve Darnold, though. I'm sure.
No, it didn't involve it.
Yeah.
No.
My QB1, Zach Wilson, baby. I've been watching him. Dude, this dude's legit, man. I know I don't agree with Sims saying, he's a QB1, but with Trey Lance is in here. So I guess we got to draft him. He's a fan now. There goes the mood. Get them prime time.
The minute we start talking about Darnold, here comes prime time. Right on the freaking show.
I literally said, now that prime time isn't here, we can talk shit about Darnold.
That's
exactly I was on
what
for 5 seconds, and that's what I listened to. Yep. I was like, here we go again with the fans talk. That's fine.
Yep. Primetime is the show.
Did you have a baseball game today?
No, I just had a meeting, first meeting of the year.
So no, I told Tyson, you gotta bring your phone and like stream the game, and we'll have someone do play-by-play. All the fans just roast the. If you make a bad move, the chat will just roast you. It's like, pull this guy now.
I would get destroyed, I'm sure.
As a sponsor, I vote Elias to be permanent.
Oh, thank you.
And you know what, Primetime? This is how good he is. He mentioned Josh Adams and played the Notre Dame song too.
What are we doing?
This is perfect. This
is why you guys.
Yep.
So shit. It's awesome. Well, Elias, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Excellent. That was a very good off-season prediction, man. That was really good.
Thank you. Thank
you.
Didn't
seem that good,
man. Oh. I'm sorry.
And you're,
I'm keeping Sam Darnold, and I'm trading back to the 7th round to get picks for next year.
You see the shirt he's wearing, Primetime?
I do. It's a nice shirt.
Look at that. See?
Yeah.
Very nice shirt.
Elias, have a good night, man. Thanks for joining us.
Good night, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Yeah, he was awesome, dude. He had a really good plan. So we covered 2 things. We covered DeMarcus May being tagged, which no surprise whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, hopefully you can get a deal done with him. If not, deal with it next year. Tag him again next year. Like, I don't.
You try to trade him?
What would you get for him?
I mean, anything would be better than just letting him walk as a free agent. So if they view that, he has some kind of value on the trade market, I mean, maybe there's, potential to get a 3rd, 4th round pick.
I mean, if you can get, I don't know.
I'm more curious to figure out, I guess, if Douglas views him as part of like a long-term plan. Like, would he be willing to go 3-4 years at whatever May's asking price is, which I don't think he's going to do. So if you're just bringing him back on a 1-year deal, would it make more sense to get some kind of compensation back? And I think for May, it makes sense also to play on the 1-year deal. take the $10.5 million this year. I don't think he was going to get more than that as a free agent. And then you test the market again next year when the cap should be going up.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I think that's he's probably getting more on the tag than he probably would get in a per year basis anyway. I don't think anybody's giving him $11 million a year in the open market. I don't think so. So, like I said, you keep him in the fold. It's an insurance policy. You can't walk away. Get a deal done. Great. I wouldn't go anything more than 3 years. I saw the one rumor. It's like, oh, the Jets want a long-term deal. What kind of long-term deal are you giving him? He's fucking 28.
That's what I'm saying.
What do you get? Like what, 5-6 years? No, it's like 3, right? Yeah. Like
three, maybe max 4, but even that I wouldn't feel great with.
So the other story is Dak Prescott getting his deal done, which is good. I'm really happy for him, dude. I'm a Dak Prescott fan. I like him a lot. So, Primetime, you worried about your players finding the stream?
Yeah, that's why I don't drink during the season. Also, can't be drinking out here while I'm in the middle of coaching season, unfortunately.
So, for Dak, I'm happy, dude. He got huge money, but I think he's earned it, and I think the franchise quarterback. The money is going to be the same. You're going to be at $35-40 million a year. That's what the quarterback's going to get going forward. That's the market value now. I mean, I don't know why people are complaining about it. That's what to expect.
No surprise there at all.
So when you have guys like Josh Allen and Mayfield and all these other guys getting ready to get those new deals, they're all going to be in that same ballpark.
Darnold
That's
next year. Yep.
With the Redskins or with the Washington football team,
the Jets.
So franchise tags are coming out. May Scherf was tagged. So now it's like, what do you think happens with Thuney?
Well, if the Patriots tag him again, that would be the 2nd consecutive year. So wouldn't they be paying like $17 million or something like that? Yep. So I don't know if they would go to that extent. They do have the money. They do have some cap space.
He's going to get paid, dude. His. I mean, there's going to be a bidding war for him, dude.
Especially if he's the only prominent guard out there.
Yep. So and then now there's a lot of talk. Elias was talking about trying to find centers to go after. Try to go that route. If you don't get Thuney, maybe go get a center. Move McGovern over and take that route. I'm not opposed to that either. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go with this, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think that definitely works out because McGovern, again, his contract you can get out from after next year. So if you want to draft another guard, round 2, round 3 of this year, you groom both him and Cameron Clark behind McGovern and whoever your other guard is. I'd be fine with that.
Are you drinking coconut water?
Coffee.
Coffee at 9:30 at night?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, my goodness. Carlos Tyson's going downhill. Appreciate it. Always fun to hear that about myself. The first place, I haven't done nothing. The first place, New York Islanders.
Oh God, Rangers got like shit though lately. Primetime
is going to save the show.
How about that? My best.
Elias isn't kissing someone's ass to get video time.
Oh,
hey man, he was the first person to come on, and then I was like, cool, I'll talk to him first, and he made our intro song, which is awesome. So let's see. Prime time, save the show, please. See, everybody's. I think Elias pissed off a lot.
I'm scared to know what happened while I was gone.
He pissed people off with his Notre Dame song. I know that was not. I loved it. I thought it was excellent. See, good job with him. What else we got here? Let's see. Primetime has had a good mood. Primetime is the GOAT. Primetime, you're the man.
Appreciate it.
I don't know how you drink so much coffee, man. It's crazy.
Because I don't go to bed until like 1 or 2. So
Beltran a better manager than Primetime?
Beltran never got to be a manager, so I think my career record is better than his.
Is Primetime roided up or is it coffee?
Just coffee. Protein I had before.
Man. Your shoulders are looking pretty big, man. You must be. Yeah, you are looking
the traps. Doing the traps.
A lot of shrugs.
Yep.
Let's see. We will go to the callers next. We got Primetime haters are going to hate. It's wild to see people want to see Sam suck when he's still on a team. If he's on a team, we don't want to see him suck, but if he does
you're planting all the seeds for the I told you so's, and they should have drafted a quarterback. No. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing.
Nope. I don't know.
That's why you agree with Sanchez. After the first quarter of one bad game, you're going to be ripping him, and that's fine. Yep. It's going to be okay, there you go. It's going to be an I told you so. We should have traded him. That's what we're setting it up for.
Primetime probably uses egg weights. Those egg weights.
What's
up, man?
I don't even know what that is.
So we got Worth the Fight. What's up, Worth the Fight? You are caller of the week, and that is something that we're going to continue to do. We're going to take the best callers, and then we'll pick it out, and then we're going to be lazy and let Romeo cut it for us because I don't know how to do that. And he'll add some graphics to it, and then that's it.
I was gonna say I know how to cut it. I just can't add the graphics. So
yeah, I don't know how to do that shit. Primetime has Vince McMahon arms.
Is that good or bad?
Because Vince McMahon's a big dude, man.
He definitely used roids though. Peak
Sam
Vince.
is the future. Don't doubt the man. Yeah, he's gonna be great. He's gonna be great for the 49ers. He's gonna lead them to promised land.
So if we think he's gonna be great with the Niners, why wouldn't we want him here?
I don't think he's gonna be great anywhere. I think he's change his scenery, make him good. He could be a game manager somewhere else.
You just said change of scenery is gonna make him good.
Good.
What am I missing?
Good. I want great. I want elite. I want top 10 quarterback.
Oh, so Zach Wilson's going to be elite.
I'm not doing this tonight. I'm not. So we're going to go. So Primetime, do you want to go to, I'm going to give you a choice.
Okay.
You have Waffle Wire, you have Ghost Pepper, or you have Afram.
See, I feel like we're going to need Afram after a caller or two. With the potential lineup that you just mentioned, like to kind of calm things down. So let's save Afram. Let's go with the Ghost Pepper. Let's see how that goes first.
All right. What is it? Look at what are you sponsoring Dr. Pepper now? What the hell is the can? What do you know? Some marketing pro here?
And what kind of Dr. Pepper is that?
Oh, it's Dr. Pepper made with real sugar. You have to special order it.
That's a weird can. I've never seen that one.
Weird can for sure.
It's a retro can. It's supposed to look retro.
Oh wow.
Did you shave, man? You look all clean cut now.
A little.
Damn, you're all clean up, getting all spiffy, man. You get the fancy Dr. Pepper. Oh, now he's drinking it on a camera. This is like a Dr. Pepper commercial right now.
I was thirsty.
But yeah, you weren't too thirsty because you waited to open it up till you got on the stream though. So it's like a fucking commercial. What are we doing here? This is right. Probably time. If he's thirsty, if you open, he'd be drinking it already. You opened it on screen.
I don't understand.
What the fuck are we doing here? This is almost like Luca level right here.
We want to know what? Before I get started.
What if Coca-Cola was our sponsor? Like they'd be like, "What the hell?"
That's a good point.
You want to know what? You want to know before?
What if Truly was thinking about sponsoring and then they saw
they're like, "Oh, these guys
Pepper.
are just
shit. We're out."
Oh, okay. We gotta just talk stuff.
Well, you're the one that started it with your fucking Dr. Pepper can.
All right. Before we get started, I talked to him in the chat. You want to know what? Round of applause. Happy International Women's Day to Cassandra.
Okay. happy International Women's Day.
What has Cassandra done for society?
She's an international woman.
Round of applause.
Well, also,
yeah.
Also, you want to know? I do want to congratulate female in Jets history. The first female NFL scout, Connie Eichenberg.
She's awesome, man.
Hey, she's the one who found Mark Gastineau.
Dude, you know what the cool thing about Connie is? She's very, very intelligent, very well spoken, knows the game inside out and backwards. and always takes time to talk to anybody. Remember at primetime, at practice, at games,
Always.
anytime you see her, she is the sweetest person, man.
Well,
She is super cool, man.
Super knowledgeable too. I mean,
Yep.
she can go back and forth with you about anything, Jets. So.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about picking up her book, X's and O's Don't Mean I Love You.
Do it.
Yeah.
Dude, she's awesome, man. And she's excellent on Twitter. She'll answer any question, talk to you. And we actually had her on a show, I think a year or two ago, and she broke down all kinds of stuff, man. And you know, like now it's like this show's probably not in her ballpark. We're a little bit probably too vulgar at this point, but she's always cool, man. She's excellent.
And the other thing is, who knows if she hadn't done what she did back in the day? Who knows if you have female officials or any female officials or female.
Shout out to Woody Johnson giving her a shout on his Twitter account too. That man, this is great. Woody Johnson just tweeting away, man. That's my owner.
Stop it.
You know, I did like what Eli had to say about I like this offseason plan. I thought it was very well put together.
Yeah, Elias is good. He's more prepared than primetime right now.
You want to know? I do like Zach Wilson. You want to know one thing I will say about Chris Sims? He's been right with the quarterback so far. 2017, top quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. 2018, his top two quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. 2019, top quarterback.
His fingers, like right in the middle of the screen. You see his finger prime time? It's like, it's so, look at his fingers.
Okay, 2020 quarterback class, top quarterback.
I feel like he's giving me the finger right now.
I mean, you think about it. He's got so far in the last 4 years, he's been right with his picks. His picks in terms of the top quarterbacks have all been right. Are you gonna are you gonna bet against him a fifth time?
No, hell no. I'm all in. Zach Wilson, let's go. Let's roll. Number 2 pick. I'm in. Let's go.
And also, I love it because I'm working on a Zach Wilson T-shirt concept.
There you go. So now we're making T-shirts. So we went from Dr. Pepper to T-shirts.
Well,
so are you gonna sell the T-shirt?
Well, no, I'm gonna pitch it to another Jets YouTuber, Jets Talk 24/7. I pitched him a couple designs.
What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck?
I don't have the money for it.
Wait, he's gonna pitch it to somebody else? You're out of here. Fuck off. Wait, he just said, wait a minute.
That really just happened?
Wait, he said I have a shirt, but I'm gonna pitch it to another YouTuber. Like, what the fuck are we, chopped liver? Get the fuck out of here. What is going on in this show, man? Like, what happens here? Are we chopped liver? Like, we're not worthy of being pitched to because what? We're not good marketers?
I feel like we're getting used between Luka and now this.
I have a really good T-shirt design. I'm gonna pitch to somebody else, another YouTuber.
Wow. Yeah, we're not good enough. We don't have a big enough following, I guess. I mean,
go choke on your pepper.
We got a long way to go.
All right, so this is you had a really good idea to keep Afram in like the bullpen because now
now we need Afram. Yeah, now we need Afram.
No, we're gonna double down. We're just gonna go for even just.
Oh, no.
They said, what is he saying now? We're getting roasted. I don't care. Who cares? We're gonna bring on Waffle Wire. What's up, man?
Why do you guys call me that?
It's just
that's Tyson's nickname for you.
Yep.
So what's up, guys? You guys happy about the May news?
Dude, I feel like I'm looking at your ceiling right now.
So I'm at my dad's house right now, so that's why.
So now is your dad's ceiling?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not home right now, so.
No, the Marcus May thing makes a lot of sense, dude. I mean, that's.
Yeah, man, and bro, maybe they're gonna throughout this time they're throughout the whole offseason, maybe they're gonna discuss some long-term deals, maybe, hopefully.
I mean, that's
problem is we already know.
I want to
based on what his agent was saying.
What'd you say, prime time?
I was gonna say we already know that May's pissed off based on what his agent was kind of floating out there. So I don't think he's coming down on whatever his asking price is. So.
I want him to be here for a while.
But
I don't know how long it's.
I mean, a while. Well, what do you mean a while? What's a while?
Like the rest of his career.
What?
So you giving him a 5-year contract?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why? For how much?
I can't give you a certain contract for it.
Why not?
I don't know. I can't give you a good number.
Well, you just said you want to make him a Jet for life. So you said 5 years is good. How much are you paying him over those 5 years, and how much guaranteed are you willing to give him?
I would do it
at age 28.
I can say like how much I'm going to give him a year. I would give him like 10 million a year.
For how many
5
years?
years, 50 million.
I'd be fine with doing that. I don't think that contract's going to happen though. I would do that.
Well, see,
I
now,
like
but
May,
you're
but I'm
saying
not coming close
eventually,
to that.
no, eventually, yeah, I would do that.
why? So you know what? You know what's funny? You say this,
bro. 10 million's not bad
For 5 years though.
No, it's not bad at all.
You know, it's not bad now when he's at this age. And 3 years from now, when he slows down and can't keep up with the rest of the NFL, he'll be the first one calling him like, "Oh, this fucking contract, we gotta cut him. Gee, who gave this contract?"
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying now.
So are you gonna cut it back down to 3 years, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I put it to be. I have to realize. I realize, bro. He's gonna slow down. Yeah, I give him. Yeah, like around there, 2 to 3 years maybe.
See, so
This is just.
If you don't want like the nickname Waffle Wire, right? Just some advice going forward. Like when you have an opinion, stick with that conviction, right? So yeah, if you want to go 5 years, you want to make him a Jet for life, stick to that opinion, stick to that thought.
Holy cow!
Whatever.
Exactly. That pretty much sums it up. Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
All right, see you guys.
Sorry, Pronto. I just
have a good night. We need.
I couldn't really do much more with that.
I need.
All right, Afram, save the show because we had 2 back-to-back doozies.
I should have waited a little longer. I could have more guys there. How are you this evening, boys?
So wait, just to clarify, you're not going to plug your podcast and you're not going to blow us off for a T-shirt, right?
No.
Okay,
if I
good.
design anything, it's for this channel only, because you guys don't ask for money or to join their what you call it, their members only club. To be no,
we don't ask for anything.
No. Just, I don't know. Kevin, did you get a chance to see that video?
I did not. Not yet. I did not.
There's another one. He came out today, and he's answering questions. Evidently, that podcast that he did, and it's Paul Beismeister, something like that, is the other guy.
Paul Burmeister.
Burmeister, yes.
Yep.
And he this whole thing has gone crazy because everyone is like attacking him. How can you pick this? Which is great because, and he says it. I don't care what anyone thinks. He has claimed. I had to watch it again because I wanted to see pick up anything. He has watched every single game, every single throw on all these guys. It's really interesting. And the thing that I picked up most that really summed up everything is that he said that everyone just kept hearing Lawrence for the past 3 years, and he's the sexy pick.
Yep.
And that's what these guys go after for selling on their articles, the sexy pick. Did you see McLean's thing about trading Kyler Murray?
Yep.
What's that tell you? Does that tell you that he's not getting Texans are not getting the calls that they would like to get from other teams?
He's clearly they're like he's the puppet for them, obviously, because whenever he gets, I mean, he's leaking out all kinds of stuff for the Texans right now. So I think they're probably getting a little desperate.
Yeah, and I was going to throw this scenario at you. As Zach Wilson's stock keeps going up higher and higher, and the Jets' number 2 pick becomes more and more important for the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
If Joe sits back and not go crazy and show no interest right off the bat, does Texans reach out and go back to the Dolphins and to try to trade there? But is it a better sell for him to trade to the Jets because the fan base would probably take it, would accept a Zach Wilson as their quarterback to replace it? So, and I'm looking at if that's the case, no one's going to be throwing a shitload of picks So there's an advantage there. I don't know if that's going to happen, but there's an advantage.
Oh yeah, the more hype around Zach Wilson, the more valuable number 2 pick is, the better off it is for the Jets in terms of a Deshaun Watson trade. Absolutely, man. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. The Thuney thing, I don't think I can't see the Patriots because I think they have to pay him 120%, but 20% more than last year. I don't see them doing that twice. Especially now, I think he's 28.
There could be a serious bidding war for him, though, man.
Yeah.
He's going to get a mega contract.
There's not that many. I would say Jacksonville will probably be in there because they have money. Did you see that the Dolphins traded to the Titans for that 22-year-old?
Yeah, that's a low risk, high reward kind of guy, man.
Yeah, because he's 22. I mean, they could straighten his head out.
Yep. All they did was swap 7th round picks too, right?
Yep. This year's they give it this year's, and then they get back next year's 7th round pick back from the Titans. But and I saw that Sheriff got franchised. It's so it's like you say, the assets are going quickly. So it's be interesting.
It's interesting to see, like, when you see all these guys getting tagged, like they're saying now Galladay may not get tagged. But it makes you wonder, like, what the value is. Hey, if Galladay does, what's the value of Schuster? What's the value of Samuel? Like, does that make them all? Are they going to start getting overpaid just based on their availability?
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. Now, I go through listen to these podcasts and all this. But one guy made it. I think it was Connor Hughes who said that he feels that Schuster is a better slot receiver than Crowder.
I'd hope so.
Yeah, but I'm saying I would cut if that's the case. I would cut Crowder and use that money to get you're going from a older receiver to a 25-year-old, 25-year-old. I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep Crowder, it's gonna be for one more year, and then he's gonna be gone. That's basically all it is. It's so like a Band-Aid.
So if you can lock up somebody for like 3-4 years,
absolutely, and
still be young. I like what Elias said about the Lindsey and was it Thuney? Well, just getting Lindsey and moving McGovern over to the guard spot. So, like you said, the more assets are going, it is going to be a bid war because Jacksonville has a lot of money, so they're the ones to worry about.
I'm just curious to see, we're a week away from the tampering period. I'm curious to see who the first phone call is the Jets make. Like who's the first person they aggressively go after?
Well, that's Thuney was on their list aggressively last year, but unfortunately he got tagged. Now, what Connor Hughes had said was that a lot of these B players ended up getting A money last year. And that's why he went, and he didn't want to spend that kind of money on there. Plus, he made a good point that at that time, that's when the COVID thing hit, and he was kind of worried there'd be no season as well, like other sports, or held back. That do we throw money and not, you lose these guys for a year, and they get a year older, and then you have got these contracts still going. So I think that's why he went after these, I guess, C-level. I would say, or
that bullshit. They find more and more reasons to justify Joe Douglas making bad signings last year. They just creating more and more shit. Well, there was this, there was that.
Yeah,
it's call it what it is. He made bad choices, and it hurt his quarterback and it hurt his offense.
Yeah, who knows? I could agree with you. I could agree with him.
How many other teams spent money last year? They gave out contracts. They did all kinds of stuff. It wasn't, Now,
do you think this Prescott deal can affect Deshaun Watson? Could his agent then turn around and say, "Hey, before we trade you, let's renegotiate a contract"?
I think it affects Russell Wilson if anything else, because now he's going to be really fueled. He wants that money big time, man. He says he doesn't, but he does.
But I'm saying that the agent could say, we have no trade clause. If we're going to go to you guys, now we got to renegotiate our contract. We want.
I'll let primetime mention, but I don't think so. I think right now they probably want to just get the hell out of there. They may come to wherever they get traded to, probably play a year there, and then say, you know what, let's renegotiate. But first, they want to get out of Houston first and not put up any roadblocks to stop it. Let's say, listen, I'll come to New York, but I want another $100 million. But let me get in New York first, and then do that. You don't want anything holding it up. I don't think.
Yeah, it'll be very
Wait,
interesting.
are you talking Wilson or Watson?
Watson.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying like right now Watson like he has a contract that's favorable. Well, based on Dak's contract, I don't think he's gonna say no. I want a new deal too. I think he wants to get out of Houston first, then deal with his contract and everything else.
Yeah. Watch that video
now. I don't know.
Yeah. Watch that video when you get a chance. Prime time.
Yeah, stop being lazy. Prime time. Damn. Jesus Christ.
Just watch it. Man. Be objective, and see what he says and see how you feel.
We could see how objective he is. He's not even watching it. He doesn't want to watch anything that's not Sam Darnold. He doesn't want to watch rookie quarterbacks.
He's loyal. He's loyal to.
Did I not do 3 videos all on Wilson, Fields, and Lance?
No,
but you don't want to. You don't want to see them. You don't want to see the details now behind it.
Listen, everyone has a favorite player. I don't judge him for that. He's sticking to it. He's got conviction. That's great. But like I say, I wish he had 2 years left on his before the 5th year. And like I said, we would be talking about this. But unfortunately, I truly believe that 5th year kills him because they're not going to waste another year hoping to see if he can get better. Because it's going to probably take a year and a half to see if he bounces back.
Yep.
It's a whole new system. I like the kid. The Jets screwed him, and unfortunately, he's paying the price for it. It's completely unfair what they did to him. It truly is, and it's sad because they had a potential talent there that they could have done. The past 2 years, they killed him with this Gase whole offense, and I don't know. It was just basically an offense coordinator trying to coach a team. He had no business being a head coach. But
that's why I'm wondering, like, where Joe Douglas's mindset is with all this. I mean, if he did come here in part because he felt like he had a franchise quarterback and that was the one position he didn't have to worry about, I mean, is he ready to, toss that away and just start over with his own guy? Is the contract that important as opposed to, maybe getting all those draft picks? I don't really know what his approach is, but one thing that he has kept saying is that he wants to build this thing through the draft. So, the number 2 pick, like we keep talking about, that might be your best chance to get the quarterback because hopefully we're not picking top 5 again, or it might be your best chance to stock things up for, the next 10 years.
Well, I think he took the job because there was an opening. You got a GM job position, you take it, okay, and then you start your resume.
Especially with a 6-year contract and you hire all his friends.
Exactly. It's not like everyone's waiting for you for the following year. Yeah, no one's going to wait for you. I mean, there's you take the chance, you grab it, just like a head coach, like an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. They're going to take that head coaching job regardless of what team it is. With 32 teams, you don't have a pick and choose type of situation. You grab what's there, But gentlemen, have a good night. I know there's plenty of people waiting to give their take on it. Watch that, and I'll send you the link for the part 2 because he gets bombarded with questions about what he said, and he has total answers for every single one of them. But when you get a chance, Primetime, watch it. It is.
Do your homework, Primetime.
Definitely will. Now I'm on the spot.
By the way, is it a prerequisite for your players to like Darnold to be on the team? I just want to know. I don't know if you put the pressure on them to.
Not at all. I try to separate all football stuff.
They all have the S hat, the Sam hat.
Have a good night.
14.
Take care. Be well.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Oops, we got here. Bros, I can't be on tonight. My ladies are asleep. I'm awash in Sam nostalgia. Don't have any hot takes till Friday.
Oh,
Timothy, have a good night, man.
Good night, Tim. Good hearing from you.
Yes, sir. What else we got in here? Where's Jack? Hopefully not in our studio. Oh, I said that out loud, I think, right? Vincent went Benedict Arnold on us. He did. He just completely I don't know what happened.
Getting a lot of that, man.
We're getting disrespected all the time now.
Too nice.
Let's see. What else we got here?
We got hold on.
Where can I find the first primetime rap? Speaking of raps,
Super Bowl,
what happened
right?
to your Sam Darnold rap?
Don't I still have another week?
What was it, a 4-week plan now? You said 2 weeks. Now it's what, 4, 5?
Well, last week didn't I say 2 more weeks?
Jesus.
Don't I still have another week?
So let's say it's March 8th.
Yeah.
Which one of these
is
worse?
15th.
Jack's take on Sam playing like MVP Lamar Jackson. Luca promoting channel first. Vince pitches idea, but not you. It's Jack's. I mean,
might be Vince, to be honest.
That was he starts with a Dr. Pepper can, which was
I didn't mind the Dr. Pepper so much.
No, but it was sitting there on purpose.
The timing of it was a little interesting.
But it was sitting there on purpose to show it off. And then he said, "Oh, I'm thirsty." He opened it up the minute we brought him on, it was like obviously product promotion.
He's trying to show off the custom can.
Yeah, and he says he has a shirt he's going to plug somewhere else. Oh man, this is just I don't know what happened. But we used to be nice guys. I don't know what happened.
Prime time can't nice now.
Prime time can't show up on time. You think you have a rap battle ready next week?
It'll be ready.
Vince pitching Jets talk now. Oh, good for him. Hopefully they promote a shirt for him. Let me tell you. All right, we're gonna go to Mr. Gangrene David.
Whoa, where's this guy been?
It's a celebrity sighting here.
Oh man, what's going on, gentlemen? I've been gone for the last month and a half, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, we've
been gone for a while. How you guys been?
What have you been doing?
It's been a crazy month and a half. Took some time off making videos and had to focus on some personal stuff. But free agency's right around the corner. I'm pretty excited, much like the rest of the fan base. It's kind of a wild roller coaster ride with the quarterback situation. But yeah, watching you guys pretty much on a weekly basis, listening to you guys and knowing you guys for the last 4 or 5 years, I absolutely love your craft. You guys are fantastic at what you do. And it's funny just watching you guys getting drunk on camera every week. So it's
I don't know what you're talking about. We don't drink.
I'm drinking
coffee. That's such a lie, Tyson. Don't lie.
Have you ever seen a beer in my hand? I have a blue cup. What's in my blue cup? Nobody knows.
Maybe not beer, but probably drinks like Truly.
You never know what's in the cup.
Probably is.
So what? Yeah, right. Yeah. you see me after the show, prime time. There's nothing more in these cups. But so what's your take on Marcus May, man?
Well, first off, I love Marcus May. I think he's grown into a very versatile and solid contributor for the team. The franchise tag was kind of something expected, and it was probably the first time we used the franchise tag since Mo Wilkerson back in 2016. But a heavy discussion that we made last year with the whole Jamal thing is that you don't want to overpay a safety, especially with everything you got going on the roster. You got a lot of holes that you got to fill. You're pretty much rebuilding the team. You got a brand new regime with the new head coach. So in terms of Marcus May, I would love to bring him back for the continuity. I mean, he's 28 years old. He's probably one of your only veteran leaders you got on the defensive side of the ball because you got a lot of young guys there. So I don't want to give him an insane mega contract. I don't know what Jets Wire was talking about. You want to make him a quote unquote Jet for life. That's probably a famous quote nowadays. But to be quite honest, if I were to bring back May, man, it would probably be around a 3-year deal, maybe about $10 million a year, 10 and a half. I would probably go max, just because you don't want to end up having to pay a lot of money for a safety, especially like Marcus May, when you got a lot of holes you got to fill on the roster. You got to get a pass rusher. You still got pieces to put on the offensive line. You got to get a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. You still need some cornerback help. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And, you also want to bring in a tight end too, kind of compete with Herndon. So, and there's a lot of holes you got to fill, man.
No, I think prime time. You agree? I mean, 3 years, $10 million per. I have no problem with that at all.
What do you think the plan is for Douglas, like as far as dealing with May? I mean, do you think they want to just bring him back on the 1-year contract and try to work something out next year? Do you think May is, I know his agent was upset about it, but do you think now, $10.5 million for 1 year, is that worth it? And you test the market again next year, especially if he doesn't get what he's looking for in a long-term deal. I mean, how do you think the Jets are going to go about it?
To be honest, I think it could be worth it. The thing that does worry me about Marcus May is that he would hold out and possibly want to demand that money. But if Marcus May really does want to be here, he'll take that 1 year, $10 million a year deal, and he'll run with it. So, if you're willing to get May on the franchise tag for just this year, where you're not having to worry about him holding out, then I think it could really benefit both sides.
I don't think there's any chance he holds out. I mean, he's a 2nd-round pick. He's never really been paid at this point. So $10.5 million is, that's significant for him.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, we've kind of had scenarios where we had players threaten to hold out, i.e. the whole Jamal situation. But then again, Marcus May is nothing like Jamal. So,
well, see, the other thing, I think the one thing that plays I guess against the Jets is that everybody knows they have among the most cap space in the NFL. So you're like, why can't you pay me? You have $80 million in cap space. You can't afford it's like, everybody take care of one of your own because you have the money. It's like, it's like, are you pinching pennies? What are you doing? That's the kind of one thing they could probably, if the agent wants to play a game, he could probably do that. They don't want to take care of one of their own when they have the money, but you can't.
You have $80 million in cap space, but you also have a lot of holes to fill on the roster. That's
dude,
why
I agree.
Yeah, that's why going into free agency, you want to kind of address more of those premium positions. And something that really worries me about this free agency is that Joe Douglas is going to go bargain basement shopping again. And I'm not saying that he needs to go on a spending spree, because we've seen how Mike McCagnon's done that previous years, and it really did not work out at all. I mean, you're bringing in all these veterans on lucrative contracts. You put the Jets in cap hell, and now they're eating a whole bunch of dead money. It's not a good look for the organization going forward in terms of the future. And I get that Joe Douglas wants to build through the draft, but Tyson, you've said this numerous times, you don't have 30-plus draft picks. You're going to have to spend a little bit of money to build around those draft picks. So if there is a game-breaking player that plays a premium position, go and spend the money. That's why a guy like an Allen Robinson or a Kenny Golladay does make sense. That's why somebody like a Joe Thuney does make sense. But realistically, I think if I'm Joe Douglas and you could probably get maybe 1 or 2 game-breaking players in there, I can maybe cut Jamison Crowder for cap casualty. He's 29 years old. He's got 1 year left on his deal. You could put it into a contract like a Kenny Golladay, and then you could bring in a mid-tier guy like a Curtis Samuel to kind of build around Denzel Mims, and then you have your wide receiver group there. Then you can get kind of more of an under-the-radar mid-tier back like a Marlon Mack or a Jerick McKinnon for not too much money, or if you want to attack the running back position in the draft, maybe in the second round or the third round, you could do that too. But if I'm going to spend the money in free agency, if I'm going to try to aggressively pursue any sort of big-time player, it's going to be at a premium position. I don't want to overspend for a safety. I don't want to overspend for a middle linebacker. We've already done that with CJ Mosley.
We already have that.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, you got to go out there. You got to get some game-breaking talent. Don't bargain basement shop. Don't go for these one-year deals.
I see what you're saying. Like, definitely not the 1-year deal thing again. But I think Primetime makes a really good point, and I hate saying that, but he does, is that you could chase a lot of big names, which is what I want to do. But I think a lot of them are either going to get tagged or the price is going to get so ridiculous where it's like, you know what? The second wave of free agency, we can get so much more value because we have so much more money than everybody else does. So while somebody may overpay Juju Smith-Schuster, we can get Curtis Samuel, and I'd be completely fine with that. Where, I don't think Allen Robinson is going to happen. I don't think Galladay's going to happen either, to be honest with you. But, if somebody overpays Thuney, maybe we go a different option. We go center, move McGovern over. Like, we do different things. So I think we can get more bang for a buck in the second wave of free agency. And the more I think about it, I don't think we're going to make that big splash. Like, I just don't think they're going to, like, the names we're talking about, I don't think they're going to get any of them.
I just think the O-line's too important to pass that up. If you could get
I don't think they're getting Thuney. Like, I think Thuney's
if you have the opportunity,
ridiculous.
So what? Pay it. Protecting your quarterback is the most important thing. The argument at receiver, I think, could be a little bit different because, whether you want to look at the second wave options, guys that could be available, I think there's going to be a lot of names, but also in the draft. I mean, you got 5 picks within the first 3 rounds, and this draft class, once again, is loaded at receiver. So if the plan is to maybe address, 1 or 2 of those picks for a receiver, that might be your plan, and then you put that money somewhere else.
Your marquee free agent would be Thuney?
Yeah, has to be. Him or Lindsley. I mean, something on the interior O-line. I think that has to be priority number 1. Because you could get options in the draft, either other free agents, not the top tier guys like Robinson, or again in the draft.
Well, yeah, I think Douglas is really going to build through the draft. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how he addresses free agency. I would really like to go address the offensive line. So if it's not a Joe Thuney, you can get somebody else. There's some options out there. I mean, there's people talking about possibly getting Penei Sewell in the draft if the Jets decide to move forward with Sam Darnold. Which, to be honest, though, prime time,
you're not taking him at 2, though, right?
What?
You're not taking him at pick 2, though, right?
I would probably trade down. I would trade down.
Go ahead.
If I'm keeping Sam, I'm trading down. Let's be real.
Are you keeping Sam?
Keeping Sam. What? What's that?
Are you keeping Sam?
Tyson, you're not going to like this, but personally, I would keep Sam for the flexibility because
flexibility of what?
Yep.
Most people are not going to like what I'm saying, but here's the thing, though. You can
prime time's going to love it. You've already won prime time over, but let's hear this nonsense.
Let him finish.
Okay, so here's my thing. Like, the reason why I don't mind keeping Sam Darnold is the flexibility that you can get from trading down. Because keep in mind now, we've said this plenty of times, and I understand the whole shit with Sam Darnold. He did not play well last year at all. The guy had one of the worst years you've seen out of a Jets quarterback forever. And I'm not going to deny the poor decision-making and the meaningless sacks that he took. I'm not going to deny that by any second. But at the same time, we've also talked about the situation where, I don't want to throw a 23-year-old young quarterback in the trash because hiring Adam Gase was
you're not throwing him in the trash. You're trading him. So you're actually getting value back for him.
If you're going to trade him and put him in a better situation, then why can't you build around him here?
But you're getting value for him
here. You have a new coach. If you want to put Sam Darnold in a good situation, why don't you just do that here?
No, I don't. I really don't give a shit what situation he's going to. I just want to get rid of him. So if he gets traded away, I don't care what the situation is. I want the value return.
Like, personally, I don't mind keeping Sam because of the flexibility that you can get. But however, listening to
you keep talking about flexibility, which is wonderful. What about the quarterback position then?
The quarterback. Well, here's the thing: if you can trade down, you can build around Sam Darnold. Say it's a risk. It's a risk that I'd be willing to take because at the end of the day, probably people are bashing me in the chat right now, but I personally just don't care. If it doesn't work out with Sam next year, if you want to get a quarterback next year, then you will already have pieces for that young quarterback to work with.
So the flexibility you're talking about is the increased amount of draft picks you have. It's the flexibility to build the roster up.
If Joe Douglas wants to build through the draft and you want to take a risk on keeping Sam Darnold, then you should trade down from the second pick.
Here's my question for you:
and build around Sam.
As the Jets currently sit here on March 8th, do they not have the ability to build through the draft with their current draft picks?
They could, but if you want to get
that's the question. I mean, they have 2 first-round picks, right?
You do.
That's not good. That's a pretty good starting point to build through the draft, right? So their current allocation of draft resources is that enough to build through the draft this year?
I mean, you can never say enough's enough. I mean, the more draft capital you get, the better. I personally think it'll be enough. And listening to Joe Douglas,
if what they have now is enough,
what they have is not enough. You could be honest.
He just said it was enough. He just said it was enough just now.
It is enough, but there's nothing wrong with getting more draft picks. If you can keep Sam and get more draft picks, I'm all in for it.
So God damn it, David, why'd you do this? So what they have right now is enough to build this roster as far as their draft picks.
It's a sufficient amount, but I'm saying you can get more if you keep Sam. That's what I'm saying.
So when Parcells left the Jets, I don't know if you remember this because you were a little bit young. When he left the Jets, right, and took over the GM / czar role or whatever he had 4 first-round picks. And he nailed them pretty much. I mean, he got Chad, he got Ellis, he got Abraham, and he got Beck. And even found, I think, Coles in round 3 or round 4 of that draft. Yep. So, and that team had a lot more talent, right? They were just a couple of years removed from winning the championship, so a little bit more, as far as the veterans go. And yet all those first round picks still, that wasn't enough to win a Super Bowl. So looking at the Jets roster right now, which has Becton, maybe Mims, and Quinnen Williams as far as building blocks, how do we say that we have enough draft capital right now to build a legitimate foundation that's going to compete for a Super Bowl with teams like the Chiefs, Bills, and others?
We had a sufficient amount of draft picks. I said we'd have a sufficient amount of draft picks, and then Tyson cut me off.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Tyson.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think we have a sufficient amount of draft capital. But I'm saying there's nothing wrong with possibly trading down and keeping Sam and getting more draft picks. That's all I'm saying.
No, listen. I understand you're getting confrontational right now. I understand you've been off for a month and a half. You got a lot of bottled up anger, and I understand that. But we're used to this now. So all I asked was if the Jets have enough draft capital this year to rebuild, and you said yes, and you're right. So I'm saying you're actually right. So since they have enough draft capital this year, they can very easily take a quarterback at 2 and still rebuild. And then when you trade your friend Sam Darnold, you get more draft resources, which is good. And you can rebuild even more around Zach Wilson and not Sam Darnold.
What are you getting in a trade for Darnold? What do you think?
A high 2nd round pick.
What are you getting in a trade for that number 2 pick?
What's that? No, because then I'm gonna take that Sam Darnold pick and I'll package it with something else and get back in the 1st round again. I'll be happy. I'll build around Zach Wilson.
Personally,
still won't even come close to what you're getting for that number 2 pick.
Yeah, but the whole difference is I have my quarterback though. I don't have my quarterback now. So then I have my quarterback.
You think you don't have?
I don't.
You might have your quarterback.
I don't.
We might have our quarterback. We might have our quarterback.
See, David's not willing to double down on Darnold. He just wants to talk about flexibility.
I want more draft capital. If you can get the opportunity to get more draft capital, I'd be all in for it. But personally, though,
that's what most people want.
So then, when you do that, do you pick up Darnold's option?
If he plays well this year, he's in the last year of his deal. You could kind of have discussions with that throughout. You got
to do it in like 2 months.
What?
You got to pick it up in 2 months.
5th-year option. Oof.
At this point, you know what? I'm probably doing it. I know we've gone back and forth in this. I'm probably picking it up.
Well, personally, though, I think
17 and a half or 18 million. Why not?
I think listening to Douglas's presser, I think he's probably going to be gone anyway. When he said they're going to start.
But hold on. No, let's not talk about Douglas's press conference. So now you want flexibility. So you're trading back.
I don't mind flexibility.
Right. So you want that. So you're wanting to keep Sam Darnold. So the simple question was, will you pick up his 5th-year option?
I think I would. I'm willing to take that risk.
Okay. So you're going to be paying Sam Darnold $18 million next year, no matter what. You're cool with that?
Listen, I don't mind it if it gives us more draft capital. Why not?
Okay.
I don't mind it.
Cool. Primetime. See, Primetime's just smiling. That's just cool.
Well, because here's the thing: if you don't pick up the option and he balls out, then you sign him to an extension. You're probably paying an extra 13 million, 14 million per year. So you're taking a gamble that with better coaching, you're going to have him elevate his game.
Then you're paying him $18 million next year to sit and hold the clipboard for your rookie quarterback. You're going to trade up and use all your resources for.
If they go with a quarterback next year, they might put it off for another year.
I mean, are we ever going to commit to a quarterback? Or are we going to keep playing this? We'll push it down the line every 2 years. So what you guys can do is we're going to get draft resources,
just about
5 years from now, get a quarterback.
Because no matter who the quarterback is, we're not winning a Super Bowl in the next year or two. So you're making decisions.
At some point, you got to identify your guy and just rebuild and commit to him and go forward.
And that's what
now you're planning.
And that's what I've said every. And that's what I've said every week though about this draft class. If you identify Wilson or Fields as your guy, for Douglas, I mean, he's probably going to go that direction. But you also have to weigh that against whatever you could get by trading back and whatever the market is on Sam. And if you believe in him to a certain extent, where you could just get a ridiculous haul for that number 2 pick, again, you still might have your quarterback, and now you'd have it with all those assets around him. So for me, it's hard to argue that.
I agree.
Of course you agree.
David.
David, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Of course, man. It's good to come back on, and I know I pissed some people off, but hey, it is what it is.
You don't piss nobody off, man. That's my job. Have a good night, man. Primetime, there's a did you see there's the one super chat from that 49ers fan? Can you see that on your screen or no? Asking about how many
so many comments. I think it's gone.
Yeah. It's about how many 49ers do you think the Jets are going to take this year? How many we're going to bring over from
gone.
It's gone,
yeah, I saw that pop up too. I think he said a minimum 3. I mean, I'm thinking, Sherman will definitely be one. Seems like that's a consensus for everybody.
I want the fullback.
Juszczyk, yeah, I think he could be another. McKinnon wouldn't shock me at all. I think they're going to add some kind of veteran running back.
Solomon Thomas.
Is he a free agent?
I think so. Or is he free agent or is he going to be cut? And the Kendrick Bourne, probably another guy.
Okay. Yeah, Kendrick Bourne, especially if they do move on from Crowder and they're looking for, a cheaper option in the slot. If they go with him and then, they sign a prominent receiver, that could be a path. So, yeah, I'd say probably about 3. You'll have Sherman and then, one of the backs that we mentioned, Juszczyk or McKinnon.
I'm curious to see what kind of money Sherman's going to want if he comes here.
Probably about 10, 11.
Think so?
His last contract was what? I think 3 years, 27 million. So he got about 9 million per.
Didn't he negotiate himself too? Didn't he do that by himself?
He might have. He might have. Yeah. It sounds familiar.
Born in Kyle. Yeah. Quan Williams. Oh yeah. That's Kerry Hyder is the other one too. Yeah.
Yep.
Solomon Thomas, the free agent.
People I know are talking about Jason Verrett.
Yep.
He's also out there.
His question was the over under on 49ers getting stolen by the Jets. It could be. I think it's going to be over. I may say maybe.
I think it'll be exactly 3.
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
Yep.
Oh, when's the cook-off going to be? But he wants to know when the cook-off's going to be.
When would be a good time to do it? Do next week.
So you got a rap battle, and now you have a cook-off.
Dude, what if I did the rap battle during the cook-off?
And you got to do a Chris Sims. You got to watch a Chris Sims video.
Oh, I know.
Jesus Christ, man!
You guys are putting me to work.
Let's see. You're late. We both. This is no surprise, man. We think this was expected. I think everybody expected this.
Yeah.
May obviously wants a big contract. The Jets aren't willing to give it to him right now, so they're going to tag him and negotiate.
As of a few weeks ago, I didn't expect it, but as the rumors started coming out, wasn't a big surprise.
Let Sam cook. If you feel Wilson's your franchise quarterback, you have to take him. The hype around him, man, is just crazy right now. It's only going to get more once he hits his pro day. Let's see what we got here. I'm happy May got tagged. I don't think he's trolling, man. I think he's pretty detailed, man. His evaluation is really in depth. David, good talking to you, man. Welcome back. Look at the bars. What's up, Christopher? Trying to get caught up here, prime time. We got a lot of. He messaged you. Better you than me.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
May is one of the best safeties in the league. Super underrated. Can play the slot. Can play deep safety. Can rush the passer. Guy's versatile. Okay. Well, he's got a franchise tag on him, so it's good. We will go to Mr. Kangaroo Man. What's up, Darren?
Hello, gentlemen.
What are you, in a helicopter?
Yeah, I'm a helicopter pilot, mate. It's a car. You ever heard of them?
Looks like a fucking
Doesn't look like a
helicopter.
Oh, okay. I'm in a helicopter then. Let's just pretend. Jesus Christ, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm off to get some Vegemite and Fosters so I can enjoy my life. But no, seriously, I was listening to the Mike Lombardi GM Shuffle podcast, and the question was asked, what would you do to improve the Jets in 5 moves? And he basically said he's going to keep Sam because he doesn't believe any of the quarterbacks are better, trade down, draft Penny Sewell, draft defensive linemen, and he would not pay any of the free agent O-line and D-line because he believes that amount of expenditure is not in the Jets' best long-term interest. He believes that they should focus on the draft and not really spending that much money in free agency. So what I just want to know is, what do you think about that?
But
I mean, from Mike Lombardi,
lineman in the first round. Oh,
I was just going to point to like where are they spending the money then? If they're not spending it on the O line, or obviously I don't care if they don't spend it on the defensive line, but where are they putting that money then?
In essence,
I feel like O line. Yeah.
Yeah. In essence, he was saying to allow the coaches, offensive and defensive coaches, to install their system and basically fill with the draft where in the premium positions where you best can, and then over the next sort of 12 to 18, 2 years, start adding free agency pieces like that.
Idea.
That was just his take. I just wanted to know what you guys think and why you like.
If they take a defensive lineman at 23, I'm going to riot. I'm going to be pissed. Like, I would be miserable with that. Like, I want receivers, man. I want receivers, offensive linemen. Like, I think defensive lineman is the least of my concerns at this point.
What about a legitimate 4-3 defensive end, though?
Yeah.
Well, who's gonna be our receiver? If we're taking Penny Sewell, we're trading down against Sewell and then a defensive lineman. I want a receiver.
What if they sign a guy and then they draft another one in round 2, like they did with Mims? I mean,
I don't know, man.
Not my first choice, obviously, but
yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, that just wouldn't be my preference. I mean, that's an interesting way. I would probably approach free agency much different than that. I'm spending money, man. I'm definitely spending it. Like, I just think we need like legitimate quality, like high level talent. So it's interesting.
Not that it would be my preference, but we need guys that can get after the passer too. And you look at our
you just fucking said for the last 3 weeks, offense. Now you're going to speak to my fucking defense.
I'm saying that wouldn't be my preference, but I could understand if Douglas wants to give his new coach a toy to play with on defense.
Fuck the toy to play with on defense. Give your rookie quarterback or Sam Darnold, whoever it is, every possible.
What if a pass rusher is your best player available at 23? Not that I want to go that direction.
This is supposed to be one of the deepest wide receiver class as opposed to last year, if not better.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, man.
and then the only
I'm not saying it's what I want.
Question for you is: do you think that in the near future that free agency is going to change? Where I'm talking about the premium players in the NFL, like the upper echelon of players who come out of contract and the free agent. Do you think there might be sort of like, because there's been all this talk over the last few days about Odell Beckham going to Tampa Bay, which is complete nonsense. The Browns are never going to let that happen. But my question to you guys is, do you think we're going to start seeing sort of like an NBA thing where the premium upper echelon players go, you know what? I'm sick of
it's already starting,
Jets, for example. I'm sick of the Browns, and I'm going to go to the Tampa Bay for 2 years. Oh, look, there's shit. Now I'm going to go to, Miami for 2 years. Do you think that that's a possibility, or do you think that the owners and GMs won't let that happen?
It's starting to happen now. Look at Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson.
Much harder to do in football.
It's harder to do because you can't buy somebody out like the NBA. Like they just bought Blake Griffin out so he can go play for the Nets. They don't have the same flexibility in the NFL. But the NFL, the players are trying to take bigger stakes, man. More power in their decision, more power where they want to be, where they want to go. I mean, it's just they're trying.
I'm not talking about guys under contract. I'm talking about guys who are like legit free agents. Like, my contract's up. I'm not re-signing with this team. I'm going here for 1 year. See how they go. Well, they're no good. I'm going to another team. Do you think
No, I
happen,
know
or do you think
that I don't think so, because I think right now they want the guaranteed money, man, because they're not none of the, like, a lot of the contracts aren't guaranteed, so they're going to get their biggest payday wherever they can get it at. I don't think they're going to say, you know what, I'll go to Tampa Bay, make $5 million here, then go to Dallas, make $5 million here. I think they're going to want to get that 25, 26 million guaranteed. They don't get that big payday nailed down.
Yeah. Okay. Last thing before I go, lads, is I'm not starting no podcast. So
why not?
Because I don't know enough, mate.
You know more than we do.
No, I don't.
We don't know
anyway,
shit,
I gotta
man.
go. Yeah, but you do a good job of hiding it. I think next week I'll come on. I'm going to try and find as many animals as I can and bring them all on so I can win bloody caller of the week.
Yes, we want. If you can raise.
I might fill my helicopter with a whole zoo of animals. Anyway, I got to go land my helicopter. I shouldn't be flying with no hands. See you, boys.
See you later, man.
Have a good night, man.
Listen, if you want to get caller of the week, if you could show us koalas or kangaroos, you're definitely getting it. It's a slam dunk.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am, man. What's we got here? The Jets have 9 selections each of the next 2 drafts, 18 total. 9 of those in the first 3 rounds, 21 2 first. How should JD work? Get plenty of options. Plenty of options. A way to handle it. Means that you can take a quarterback at 2 and build around him. You can trade back and get even more and keep just stockpiling things. You can get aggressive and trade up and get guys that you really want, which is kind of where I fall sometimes. A lot of different ways to handle it, man. I think a lot of it also dictates what you do in free agency too, though, right?
I think that'll be a small part of it, because like we were just saying with the last caller or 2 callers before, like I don't see free agency being, this avenue that Douglas is going to use to kind of build his team. I think he'll use it to supplement what he's doing in the draft, sign, 1 or 2 prominent guys, and then the rest, I think it's going to be similar to last year.
But if you have, I guess you'd have to cut Crowder then. So if you get Curtis Samuel, you'd have Mims, you have Samuel. I guess you'd cut Crowder then. You don't need both of them.
Probably.
Right?
Yep.
So I'm trying to think of who would be. Is there a situation where you can get receivers to the point where you don't need a receiver in the draft?
Why wouldn't you want to take a young receiver though in this draft class to have that guy as
I'm trying to think of how that would be. Yeah,
guys, for the next 5 years on his rookie contract. I just think that makes too much sense.
I'll tell you what, I'm really that Jonnu Smith, the tight end.
Yeah,
dude, I'd like to get him. I think I keep reading more and more about him, like his versatility, what he can do. I mean, he'd be a nice piece of the puzzle too.
Yep, there's a lot of tight ends available.
Yeah, there are
veterans, young guys.
We're gonna go to Anthony Cangretti. What's up, Anthony?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Is that a hockey stick behind you?
Yeah, it's signed by most of the '94 Stanley Cup Ranger team.
Nice. Like that.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Last time I saw you guys was funny. It was actually watching hockey. Derrick Rose was a Nick. Tyson, I know you weren't happy about that first. We were talking a little bit about football, and now here we are, and Dak got his new contract, and Tyson, like we said before, now the dominoes are going to start to fall as to where it's going to be, where these guys are going to start ending up going. And first, I want to say too, I watched your mental health video, guys. I thought that was a very cool way to bring about it. I'm a high school math teacher myself, so I have kids that deal with stuff like this day in and day out, especially now with the pandemic. So I really do want to say I appreciate you guys putting yourselves out there and doing that type of thing. It takes a lot of courage to do that. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for that.
But I watched the video of the whole year where you guys started from the beginning, where you were talking about Bell being a feature running back, and somebody said Gore, and then it was just funny how everything progressed. And now listening to you guys, I know, Tyson, you are all about getting a quarterback at 2 primetime. You're want to maybe keep Sam. I got to tell you, I don't know if I were a Jet fan, I don't know where I would go with this, because you both make very good arguments, but I think both of you guys have said it at times with Darnold. Darnold can be a good quarterback, but do you trust Saleh as a defensive coordinator? Now he's your head coach, who I think is a very good hire, to help build him back up, or would you rather start fresh? And again, you have these draft picks. Do you want to build around Sam and give him one more shot, or do you want to take a chance with the number 2 pick, draft your quarterback of the future, so to speak, and see what you could build around him?
Or go for Watson.
Well, yeah. I think I just want to say real quick, is about the defensive, head coach. Darnold's first year was with a defensive coach in Bowles, and that was arguably his best year as a Jet. And again, it wouldn't be so much as, Saleh doing all the work with Darnold. It would be more on LaFleur and our quarterback coach, which we finally have now, and putting him in a better system.
So, I mean, you make a good point there. And it was funny because when you watch that year-long video, you got Saleh first. I'm not really sure. And then, but, I think you guys have a lot of potential, really you have a lot of good chances to really put something together. And like you guys have said, building an offense, I think defensively, you build your offense. I completely agree with that.
Yep.
You guys know I'm a Giants fan. I think we need to fix some pieces on our team, starting potentially with the quarterback, which we've talked about before. I'll trade you him for a toilet bowl. We'll
give you Sam Darnold too.
But it's always, and I was talking to a Jet fan. That's why I want to come on tonight over the weekend. And, he's a Met fan as well. So primetime, you're going to agree with this. We talked about how these two franchises mirror each other, and we talk about the money they spend. You and I both know the Mets didn't spend a lot of money over those years with the Wilpons. Yep. You guys have this money, and you mentioned in the video of the review, you had that money left over. Use it to you don't have to get, Tyson, as you said, the top-notch free agents. Yeah, it would be nice to add, an Allen Robinson or a Kenny Golladay, but there's some good secondary receivers that you can, keep your money and, spend it to other things. I think you guys are right. Building up that offensive line will help protect your quarterback, whoever that is, whether it is Deshaun Watson, Sam Darnold, or Russell Wilson. I don't know if he'll come, or Zach Wilson. But it all's going to start with you guys, I think, using everything you've got to build the O-line, improve your receiving core to a point. Tight end, because Becton, who was it, Herndon?
Herndon, yep.
Yeah. I don't know who's worse, him or Ingram dropping the ball.
Ingram's a Pro Bowler, man. Come on.
Sheesh. I don't know how he made it over the guy from Green Bay. I don't understand that.
Ridiculous.
And Ingram has a great skill set, but there's catches that if I was standing right, even if Lawrence Taylor was coming at me, I'd still try to catch the ball and not drop it.
So many passes.
But I really do think you guys, you guys bring up great arguments, and I love watching you guys talk about it. And I know it gets heated at times, but I really think you guys should send in all of your ideas to the Jets and say, hey guys, I'm screwing around with all this money.
They want to hear from us.
Yeah, well,
we're on their ban list right now.
Well, but you want to know something? It's interesting because we as fans, no matter what team we root for, we said this. We want to see a winning product on the field, a competitive product. Again, New York football has been terrible over the last 5-6 years. Okay, and it does take time. Yeah, we get that. Now look, the Knicks. You talked about the Knicks last time I spoke to you. Knicks are starting to look like they're playing competitive basketball for the first time in a while. It may actually be something where the Garden actually has two playoff teams. The Rangers are still on the outside looking in, but it's things have got to change. And with this ownership, with the the Jets have, you're bringing Woody Johnson back in. You guys can have. I don't know much about him, so I don't know if he's the guy you really want there. But I think it all started in the right direction with your coach. I think again, you building the offense up. I think he's going to take some defensive pieces. You were talking about the 49ers a minute ago. He brings in a Richard Sherman, who's a veteran. Couldn't stand him when he was with Seattle, but because he picked off Eli Manning a couple of times. But he's a good leader. He can help develop that secondary. You just tag Marcus May, who's had a pretty good season, and you build Quentin Williams. I would not try to get rid of Quentin Williams because he seemed like he's a good player. But I think again, you focus on that offense. Becton, it looks like a very good. I wish the Giants would have drafted Becton because I didn't realize he was we could have had him over Thomas, but Thomas did develop over a while. But I really do think, guys, you've got a lot of things you can do.
They just got to return. They just got to return to competence, man. That's been the Jets' biggest problem. Is like we have an opportunity in front of us now where they have all these draft picks, all this cap space, a new head coach. You got to become competent. There's got to, like, Jet fans to be a lot more tolerant if there's a rhyme or reason behind what you're doing, and we could see a legitimate blueprint, legitimate vision, and progress. This organization is going backwards for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Like, they're not getting any better. They're getting worse, and we can see it, and you can't lie to us about it because we see it. Like, there's more questions than answers all across the field. No face to the franchise. The coach was completely inept. So now it's like, all right, now we have a coach we can somewhat believe in. He's got to prove himself. A general manager we're hoping to believe in. And it seems like now we're all on the same page. The hierarchy's right. The opportunity's in front of them now. And now we got to hope that they come out. What is it? It's a week away. The tampering period starts with a legitimate vision. Okay, this is our game plan to rebuild this roster. We're going to attack this position, get this guy. And just show us that you know what you're doing. That to me is the biggest step right now. Prove to me you know what the fuck is going on in the building, because you haven't for 5 years. They didn't know what they were doing. McCagnon didn't know. Adam Gase clearly didn't know. So that's a big step in itself. And then, and we're giving Salah a lot of credit for it's outside the box hire, very reputable guy. He's got to prove his worth too, man. Like, you got to be able to manage the game, manage your roster, handle the adversity of New York, when that big loss happens, handle the media, handle the fans. There's a lot that goes into this, man. But you got to just everybody's got to prove themselves now. Like, done, it's just we're all trying to buy into the rebuild. Now here's your chance.
And again, what you just said, Tyson, is the key right there. And be again, as a Met fan, again, going back to baseball, we're so used to that over the last, again, primetime. You're a Met. How long has it been since really we could honestly say that it's been competent baseball? I mean, we had that run in 2006 and in 2000 when Piazza was there. And and it's funny because the Jets then were where you just mentioned the Parcells era. They haven't had that. They haven't had and I'm partial to Parcells because he led the Giants at first.
Well, they had the run with Rex too, but yeah, I mean that's
right.
We've had nothing to be proud about. I mean, they had a little run with Todd Bowles with Fitzpatrick, which was fun, with Decker and Marshall. That was fun, and it was an epic disaster. And then after that, it's been all downhill since then. It's been awful.
And I think Tyson, that's why I think you may be right. More right than primetime. And then again, I do agree. Darnold got screwed. My grandmother could, may she rest in peace, could have coached that football team better than Adam Gase did. I mean, and I just think right now, if you go with the draft pick and you get him, and you try to then you use the money you got to your resources and draft capital to fix the offense up, you have a better opportunity to really develop the future. Now, again, do you want to give Sam 1 year and say, okay, this is make or break, and then if he fails, you missed out on the draft class from this year? Again, that's where I think again, giving him a shot is not a bad idea prime time, but I have to say, Tyson, I'm more with Tyson on that because of the fact he's been with the organization for a few years now. And, I've been reading some of the New York media. They're already like, and I don't know if it's, being rumors or stuff, but it sounds like they really don't want him to come back. They want fresh blood in there.
The Jets have played this right, in my opinion. They haven't said anything. They're leaving all the speculation to all of us, and they're kind of sitting back. And I think their honest belief is they don't know, dude. They don't know what they want to do. They want to see the pro days. They want to interview these kids, see what it's about, because it's not a true college season. There was no combine. So then you're sitting around waiting. I mean, primetime, I honestly don't think Joe Douglas knows what he wants to do at this point.
No, that was what I said the other night. I still think, they're in the early stages of, evaluating all these kids, going through all the film still. And that's really what's going to determine whether or not Darnold comes back. Nothing that he did, I think, over his first 3 years. It's more about what do they see in Wilson? What do they see in Fields? And what are the trade offers for number two? And, if Douglas identifies his guy, he falls in love with one of these kids, he's probably going to want his own kid on a fresh contract. Somebody without anything to unteach from Gase. I totally get that. But I do think he's going to heavily weigh whatever kind of trade offers that they can get for that pick.
And Tyson, you think you can get a 2 for Darnold? You don't think a 1 maybe?
Nope. I think there was like it's like what Albert Breer, like 3 or 4 different analysts over the last 4 days have all said the same thing. They think like a high second round pick is what they're thinking the value is for him. And it was like the same. It was like Washington, Chicago, the 49ers, the Panthers, and somebody else. It was like 4 or 5 teams they kind of picked out.
Yeah. Now the rumor is that good old Belichick wants to bring Garoppolo back, apparently. So now. The 49ers would be opening a quarterback, and Wilson, for some reason, I keep hearing his name linked to potentially the Bears.
Chicago.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be.
want to play for friggin' Matt Nagy, horrendous coach.
That's
horrendous.
I don't know what that is about. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'd rather stay in Seattle.
Yep.
But again, it's going to be very interesting. And again, thank you guys for having me. I know you guys have other calls and stuff like that. But I hope we'll see you guys soon. And again, I'll be waiting for you guys when you get down here to Carolina. So
we're definitely down for that, man. Have a good night.
All right, have a good night, fellas.
Man.
Take care.
Primetime wants that hockey stick.
I wish.
All right. Next up, we got listen now, Jose. So now, Jose, I noticed something new. If you look when we bring Jose on Primetime, there's something new in the background.
Yeah.
Look what's back there. We got Jets memorabilia on the wall now.
Officially a Jets.
I put it out last Monday.
Look at this.
Oh, he's wearing a Seahawks shirt though.
Hey, I fell asleep in it. What do you want me to do?
Got the Jets pennant on the wall.
Yes, I do. I've had it up since last Monday, but there was no show last Monday.
That was my fault.
And Friday, I was with my priest and my godmother.
Yep, we didn't even curse with the priest on. We were on our best behavior.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So, are you happy for Dak Prescott, Jose?
Yes, I'm very happy, especially because that means Russell Wilson won't be going to Dallas.
He's going to the Bears.
Oh, good. Wow. I can't why Prime Time would troll me. But why you, Tyson?
See, but Jose, we
want that draft pick though. We want
Jose, I'm not trolling you. But this was going to happen. I'm just preparing you for the future. Ready for the future? Russell Wilson's going to the Bears. Sam Darnold's going to the Seahawks. You're welcome.
And then Jamal Adams holds out.
As soon as Russell Wilson gets, if that happens,
it's happening.
I am done with the Seahawks.
There we go.
I'm done with them. Yes.
But look at the bright side, Jose. Primetime could send you his Sam Darnold stuff because Darnold will be a Seahawk then.
I'll throw it in the chat.
I got enough of it too.
Primetime. Now, on top of everyone in this chat knowing you have bad taste, so does my godmother, because she heard Tyson bring up that Dracula.
Don't talk bad about Dracula musical. Don't do
that. Song is the worst, man. Such a piece of shit song, man. It's horrendous.
Did you listen to the words?
I don't listen.
Yeah,
I can't.
Hey, Tyson.
He was going for dark and ominous,
Tyson.
I got you.
Primetime is going to dedicate that song to Sam once he leaves.
I'll learn how to play it too on the piano.
Now, God help us.
Now I don't want to get in trouble like Vincent did, but he brought out the shirts, and when he brought that up, it's fucking idea in my head that I'm going to give you, Tyson.
Okay.
If God forbid, Sam comes back as a Jet, we can make a shirt of an ventriloquist. Sam can be the dumb.
Why we gotta play Sam like that?
Lucas got the best jokes, man.
I think everyone in the chat can guess who the ventriloquist would be.
You better not say me. You better not say me.
Oh shit, Jose, you're funny as hell, man.
Okay, I won't say it.
Funny as hell.
But you already know.
Jose, thank you for joining us, man.
Hold on.
Another one?
Friend,
Yeah.
I have enough question for you.
For math question, okay?
Yes. What
right,
seven? You have 5 seconds to figure it out
Okay.
before I give you the answer. What is 79 times 4?
79 times 4. 316. Austin 316.
Yeah. Jose 316. Says I just whooped your ass. Okay.
I knew you were going something like Stone Cold.
Jose, have a great night, man.
Go Jets.
Go Jets. See, there you go. Have a great night, man. He roasted the shit out of you, man.
That was funny going 316. At least I saw it coming. I saw it coming. So.
He does sneak this too, man. He does. We're gonna go to Goose. Goose, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys? How's everything?
What's up, dude?
Man? We haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, I know. Been out for a little bit, but glad to be back. Hard to follow that call as always, but plays the man. I love it. Just
what are your thoughts on Marcus May being tagged?
Yeah, I sort of liked it. Keeping the home talent here, so that's fine. Just as long as they can try and get a decent contract out of him, doesn't bother me. That's kind of kept one of our own anyway.
Would you be open to trading him, or even just letting him play out for the 1 year, $10.5 million?
Either way, if you just kept him 1 year and see what happens, doesn't matter. But I think having him stable at least for the next year, see what happens with the rest of the squad. It's all right with me.
So who do you think is going to be the first phone call for Joe Douglas in free agency?
It's so hard to think about it. I'm still thinking wide receiver. The plan that I have, my first thing is wide receiver free agent. So me, it's either Robinson or Samuel. I throw the money at Robinson first. I just don't know if he's gonna come here if we have Sam or a rookie quarterback. That's the one thing that would, make me nervous about him. But if he wants the money, I'd offer the most money of anybody. And if he wants to take it, take it.
Yep.
But I was looking at players through San Francisco. I know we're talking about going after guys like Sherman, and I was looking at some other guys who, and I think we're gonna go after some of these guys because with Salah, you want to raise your old team. A few guys on defense that could actually fit in with the team. Besides the fullback, who I think we're definitely going to get because it fits LaFleur's offensive system.
It does. Yep.
Yeah, so I think he's going to want to keep the exact same I formation, which we haven't had in like 20 years.
Yep.
I think that'd be a good step. They have a couple guys. I was reading. I think on the cheaper end, there's a defensive end. The guy Kerry Hyder.
Yep.
And I heard him. He had a decent year last year. I think he had 8 sacks or something.
For the Jets, that's a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah, most we've had on line for like forever. So I'd spend money cheap on the defense because I want to go more offense. But they have another guy. I think is actually wrote it down. K'Wan Williams. He's a slot cornerback who if they didn't want to re-sign Poole, I think he comes in at a cheaper bargain too.
Well, Poole didn't cost a lot last year either. Poole came back relatively cheap, didn't he? Was it like
he was at $5 million, right?
Yeah, it was
$5
cheap.
million, I think.
Something like that. I mean, I liked him if he was healthy. I mean, he was always, he was a solid player. So if they want to keep him, it's fine. But I'm thinking if they want to save a little money, they go with that route. But on the offense, I can't think about who the quarterback's going to be because I wish we had an answer, but obviously we don't have one. But you brought up a good point with the tight end with Smith. Because I was getting really into Pitts, but Smith is a really solid guy. Not only can he catch the ball, he's a good blocker too.
Good blocker, yep.
Yeah, and he's very sick in the red zone. I watched a few of his games having on fantasy. He had like 8 or 9 touchdowns. So
well, you think about it. If you have that big blocking tight end, it's a versatile like pass catching option. Then you have the fullback that does the same thing. Very good blocker, can catch the ball in the backfield. You're giving you so many more options, and you're improving your running game at the same time. It's like we haven't had that shit since Rex.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was looking at think of Tampa Bay over the years with Gronkowski and Kelsey with the Chiefs. I think you have a really solid tight end is a lot more underrated than we actually think about. So one of those two guys would be good. Definitely want Thuney as my number one offensive lineman. He might be the first call I would do over Robinson, actually, if he's not tagged. Also, there's a guy that I love in college. I'm a big Oklahoma fan. And I know my boy Tyrone actually mentioned him a few times weeks ago. My guy Creed Humphrey, he's a center for Oklahoma. Yep. He was a 4-year starter, who I actually thought was going to be a first-round pick. But now I looked at a couple of mocks and actually had one mock having the Jets get him in the 3rd round. So I think that would be my man to get as your starting center. Whether you have to get him a 2nd round, 3rd round, I think he'd be like a Mangold type guy. Plug him in. He had like no penalties on him. I don't think he had any sacks, or maybe 1 or 2 in college. He's just a workhorse, crazy man.
I would love to have an anchor. Dude, I would love to have like a center could be here for the next 5-10 years, man. Get for either the young quarterback and whoever it is, the rookie or Darnold. Just give it week in, week out, the same guy they can just build with, man. I'd love to have that.
Yeah, I'm sick of spending all this money in these,
Band-Aids
all these
and shit.
guys. They don't fucking pan out and everything.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Yeah. And one other thing, and it's not going to go on top. It's about the Knicks actually for a second.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah, I was looking at an article about a trade with Detroit, and it actually sort of makes sense because once they got Randall, I don't think they ever thought that he'd be the superstar that he is now because he actually had a crazy season. He's really good. I don't think they were going to keep him for the money, but now when they drafted Tappan, he doesn't fit into their system anymore because Randall's ahead of him. So I don't think he's going to get the playing time. So there was a trade with the Pistons. They have Jeremy Grant. Who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Great shooter. Up and down the court, very quick. So they're saying trade Tappan and a couple other guys, Bullock and somebody else, for Grant, and he would actually fit into the team very well to go along with everybody.
I don't think they're going to give up so soon, though, on Toppin.
See, I don't think so either. But I'm telling you, where's the playing time going to be for him?
Well, Randall signed for what? 2 more years after this? He signed a 4-year deal.
Yeah, 2 or 3 more years. But I think
so
now
young, man. We just got him.
I know, but Randall's young too. He's like 20. He's just 25.
He is.
No, that's true too.
So, but it's actually good to have a good Nick to talk about for once.
I think if they go after anybody, it's going to be like somebody a little bit more prominent, like a Bradley Beal type or somebody like that.
Well, that's the first thing I want. They need an outside shooter as a superstar, but I just don't think he's going to be available for him. But I definitely take it.
At least they're fun to watch, man. It's like they're competitive. They play defense. They hustle. They're well coached. It's so refreshing, man.
That's what happens when you get a good coach.
It's amazing.
It's amazing now that we actually thought about it. But yeah, it's the first time in like 10, 15 years where I want to see most of the games.
Yeah.
They're on. I watch them.
It's like I actually make it a priority. They're like, oh, they're on. I want to watch them now instead of just like watch.
Absolutely. Yep. I think it's for the first time for a long time we have all our sport teams. I know the Rangers are struggling a little bit right now, but they're just all on the upswing and
hopefully
great future. Hopefully, yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. Talk to you guys soon. All right, be well.
All right, prime time.
You know what time it is for me?
Bathroom time for prime time. What kind of shit is this? What is we doing here? We'll go to comments real quick. I'll bring on Jake. Fuck that. What's up, Jake? What's up?
Oh, what's up, Tyson? How you doing?
Are you sleeping?
No, my college, Northeastern's playing for the conference tournament for the March Madness, so I'm just watching that right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're getting our asses kicked by Drexel. It's embarrassing right now. Yeah, I need a little break anyway. My grandfather's funeral is on Wednesday, so I got to get ready.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, it's been a hard few days, but trying to power through. That's all.
That's all you can do, man.
Yeah, listen, it's everyone's been supportive. I got to see some family members I haven't seen in a while, but that's going to be a whole other thing. But anyway, yeah. So actually, one of my cousins that's going on the funeral Wednesday. I told you that I'm being serious. Allen Robinson is his new neighbor. Like he actually met him outside today.
No shit.
I'm dead fucking serious. His new Monty Toomer used to own it, and he rented it to Allen Robinson. He is his neighbor right now.
That's wild, dude.
On West New York, Albany Court.
That's so crazy, man.
Yeah,
That's so crazy.
His girlfriend. I don't know if you've seen pictures of her. She's like, big butt and all that stuff. I don't know. Sorry for the girls on this chat, but yeah, she's
So wait, so his girlfriend lives here. So I guess he got the house to be with his girlfriend. Like he's living here.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Could you imagine?
I mean, I was just joking with him, saying like, "Go tell him to play with the Jets." He's just like, "Oh yeah,
tell him to come on our fucking podcast, man. Talk some football with us."
I know.
No,
I think you guys just want him to get like a ring.com and just have it outside his house to see like what is he doing like every single day.
No, I'm not a creeper. I don't give a shit. Just tell him to come on, talk football with us. That's interesting though. But so what is Chicago's plan? Because they don't have any cap space. So how do they even tag him? Like, what do they do with him? They gotta cut players. I mean, what are they gonna do how would they keep them?
They cut our great corner Buster Screen, so I guess they had to make some room by doing that.
I always liked Buster Screen. I had a soft spot for him.
Penalty machine.
No, his hair looked like the crap in my toilet.
We got one of his first Jets interviews with us. Remember that prime time?
That's right. Yeah, totally forgot that. Forgot we even talked to him.
You actually interviewed him
like 3 times. I was texting him. What happened was he got signed with the Jets, and we used to always try hard to get guests on our show.
Yeah.
So he was doing a charity event. So I messaged the person, and I'm like, some random number. So I messaged it, and they called back, and it was him. I'm like, wait a minute. And we started talking. I'm like, hey man, we got a podcast. We'll promote your charity event. Will you come on? Remember prime time he came on for like 45 minutes and talked. We did like a couple with him. He was super cool to us, man.
Actually, now that I just remembered it, my cousin who's living next to Allen Robinson, he owns a physical therapy practice right near Weehawken where the ferry terminal is. He said Buster Screen actually walked in and said, hey, like we might need a place for me and my teammates to rehab at. But then, of course, Buster got cut the next year, but he was serious. He was like
a fitness freak, man. He used to do all kinds of like those fitness classes and he did all kinds of shit.
Yeah. I mean, he's a pretty. I mean, how tall is he? What's he like? He's kind of a short guy.
Yeah, 5'11", 6 foot. He wasn't that tall.
He was like our slot guy essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of what we signed him for. Maybe he was signed. I think was he signed the same year we got like Crow and Revis to come back? That was the year we brought him.
I believe so. Yeah, it was like they revamped the whole secondary. And that was like supposed to be the slot guy. That was going to be the thumper. And I liked them.
I mean, since we're talking about the secondary, I guess that goes right to May today. I mean, look, I have no problem with them using the tag. It's just straight up at the point now it buys them negotiating time because let's face it, if Dak didn't get this deal today, the Cowboys were going to do the same exact thing. Now, of course, we're comparing almost apples and oranges with a quarterback and a safety, but I think in the end, like they should give him at least, if they're going to at least go through the motions to do this, and they might as well give him a long-term deal. Now, would I give him a 5-year deal or above? Absolutely not. Hell no. No.
3 years.
3 years. That's 3 years. Pay him like $8-9 million a year. Go 10 if it's absolutely dire to do that. But I'd say 8-9. It's a reasonable deal. He was also a second round pick. It's like this guy was like Jamal Adams because we keep forgetting like they were drafted that same exact year, back-to-back picks. So everyone thinks we have to treat it like Jamal. No, we don't. He was a second.
He's also like, well, where do you rank? Oh, they want to know where you said that Allen Robinson lived. You said West New York, right?
West New York, yeah. New York, New Jersey. It's
New Jersey, yeah.
West New York, New Jersey. So everyone know if you're from Jersey, there's Fort Lee, there's Edgewater. This is where all like the Giants and Jet players live. Like Odell used to live around there. Barkley lives around there. Jamal Adams used to live in Fort Lee. Also, he used to do Instagram pictures of his view, and I was like, I know the pizza place and shit that like he's right around that area. So yeah,
no, that's true.
But yeah, I mean. And I was serious earlier. I really think we should at least consider bringing in like a Jaquiski Tard or like bring Sherman in to play at free safety to have somebody there to teach them the system.
Well, it was funny. They had the one article today said, well, the Jets can do what they want with May because they have Ashton Davis. I'm like, what is that? Like, who exactly is Ashton Davis? Like, what? Like now all of a sudden he's not. Is he a foregone like all of a sudden good player? So it was funny. But the thing about May, which I find interesting, is how people value him. Like he was a very good player on a very bad team.
I'm listening. So, keep going. I'm sorry.
He's a very good player in a very bad team. Like, where is he rank in terms of safeties in football? Like, is he a top 5 safety, top 3, top 7, top 9? Like, what's his value? Like, where does he rank?
It's embarrassing for me to say this. Like, it's the one position I've kind of lost track on, like who to rank is the best, because I just don't think it's a priority anymore.
But I mean, when you go on the field right now, like last year, did you say, "Wow, like Marcus May is the best player in the Jets defense"? It was Quentin Williams.
No, yeah.
Did Marcus May stand out? And like, well, that was a defense that he was put in. All right, well then, since he's been with the Jets, has he ever been elite? Where like, holy shit, he's playing at a Pro Bowl level?
That first year, we were comparing him to Jamal Adams. I mean, they had similar years.
But since then, he's like, was it the Greg Williams
in different
defense?
roles?
Well, unfortunately, I'm glad. It's kind of funny we're not like running with like torches and pitchforks, because he's the reason we won that Rams game. If you don't forget that tip that he had on 4th down. So
I'm just trying to figure out what his true value is. Like, like you see somebody, well, he got all like this age, like we had all pro votes and all this. Like I think he's a good player, but I've never walked around saying he's like a Pro Bowl, one of the best players in football kind of guy.
I mean, aren't they saying, I guess, like Buda Baker's the best? Are they saying
that's what I'm saying? Like, how many like is it? I'm just wondering if maybe he'll flourish in Salah's defense. Maybe that'll make him stick out more than maybe, because like, how many times you always see him running like backwards, like the ball is snapped, he's running back 20 yards, doing all these different things. Then he had the one game where he played in the line of scrimmage. He had a sack or two. And then you never saw it again. He didn't attack the line of scrimmage anymore. I don't know. It was weird how they used him, I guess.
It's his injury history is still a concern to me too. I know everyone said that was like a year or two ago, but it's just like, if you really can't stay healthy, then like, why am I going to believe now he's going to do that? It's kind of like you can crap on me earlier about the John Feliciano thing. I think it's a risk too if I brought him in, but I think we'll get him at a bargain in a position we needed. But at a safety position, it's like, I'm just not going to invest the heavy dollars in that when we could be spending this on so many other things. Now, of course, we talked about how we don't want to spend money on like defensive line. Solomon Thomas is the one guy I would consider signing in free agency, just because he is going to be a flyer. And I'm guessing they didn't pick up his 5th-year option because he's coming off the ACL surgery. So, what a better place to go to. We just got rid of Henry Anderson. We need a guy next to Quentin Williams.
He knows the defense.
Yeah, knows the defense. We're going to get, and in the linebacker staff, we're going to get CJ Mosley back, who's, can't believe I'm saying this, 2 years removed from football. Forget it. He wasn't even playing that first year. That was like,
played a half, and that was it.
Yeah, I was at that game, and me too. The interception, that was a horrible ride.
It was like 100 degrees that day, wasn't it? We all got sunburn and shit.
Sunburn, and then the guy 2 seats drunk me, and the train threw up all over the place. It was a horrible train ride back. Not fun at all. But
that's why you take a train.
I love taking it. Well, I mean, it's just hard with tailgating because, like, every time I've gone tailgating, I've always had to like carry like a 12-pack of like seltzers or beer or whatever. Like, you can't really bring food, or you have to like get an Uber. Like
12-pack. What the fuck's a 12-pack? What are you doing a 12-pack at a tailgate?
Sorry, the 20. There's so many.
That's like one round of beer pong.
Don't have many like. No, because all the
he probably gets there 11:30 prime time. Jake's probably a late arriver. He probably gets there 11 o'clock, 11:30.
Yeah, the guy going through all the aisles that are all filled up.
The trains don't get there till like I think like 10:30, so I don't have a choice. There's just nothing I can do.
Prime time, so he tailgates for about 35, 40 minutes.
If that. That's why you need the 12-pack.
Do you guys ever do that? Was it that Bud Light thing? Like they give you like the little like baby cups, and it's like $5 or something like that.
No, we tailgate from like 8 o'clock in the morning till like 12:45.
Oh, I forgot. Prime time. You cook everything there usually, right?
Yep. Burgers, hot dogs, sausage.
I don't think you can handle our
shrimp,
tailgate, to be honest with you. He'd be in culture shock. He saw our tailgate. He wouldn't know what to do.
Well, I mean, you guys said caller Steve goes to it, right?
Yep. But we have like beer pong. We have flip cup. We got all kinds of shit going on, man.
Are you kidding me? That's dude. I've been in COVID for a year. I would take anything. I would hang out with like.
He'd be in culture shock.
When I wouldn't even care. It wouldn't matter.
He'd probably be offended within 15 minutes. What do you think, prime time?
We'll offend somebody.
I've heard everything. Don't worry.
Jake, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the kind words again.
Yeah, hang in there, man.
All right. See you later.
Have a good night.
All right. We're going to go to Ryan. Ryan, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
What's up, man?
Pretty good, man.
We 1 week away.
It's going to be interesting, man. Going to be interesting.
Yeah. I think I think we're gonna go after Thuney. It's just one of those things where, like, Douglas has been talking about the offensive line since he came here. Last year we got a start to it, but we didn't get everything we needed, obviously. But we did end up with Becton and McGovern, who McGovern did have a disappointing year, but you have to hope whether it's center or at right guard he can bounce back this year. So I think we'll add to that. Obviously, that'll be. I do think, he'll have obviously a big market, but you would hope that he's either going to be a Jet or Bengal. I think.
Is that going to be? Would that be your first phone call?
Yes, and the reality is, I don't think Chris Godwin's not. He's not going to hit the market. Allen Robinson is a pipe dream. He's liking tweets about the Jets for weeks, but I still think the Bears are going to tag him.
Yeah.
If you watch Ryan Pace's press conference, that sounds like a team. Maybe they tag and trade him, but then the Jets are out. That's the point. So I just don't see him actually hitting the free agency market.
Yeah, then I guess the rumor today is that Galladay may not be franchised, which is interesting.
Yeah, but did you see the report that he turned down $18 million per year from Detroit?
Did he really?
Yeah, that was the rumor
during the season. So if he's not playing for $18 million in Detroit, what is he offered here? 19 or 20? I'm not doing. I love Kenny Galladay, but
I was gonna say, what's Robinson going to get now?
Probably 20 or 21 if he hits the market. And listen, I love Allen Robinson too, but some caller mentioned it earlier in the show. It's like Allen Robinson is a top 5, top 10 receiver, but in this kind of offense, I'm not sure he's worth 20 or 21 million because we want guys with yak ability. Can Allen Robinson be that good of a player where we can
good, man.
bypass that? Of course it is. But
he can do
but
it
is
all.
he $20+ million good? Where if you could get like a Juju or a Samuel for $12+ million, and then still sign maybe a Corey Davis for another 10 or 12. I mean,
I think Juju's getting big money, dude. I think Juju's not going to be as cheap as people think.
He is, because you mentioned it before. Most of these guys, if not all three, at least 2 out of 3 will be tagged.
Yep.
And then Juju becomes that next guy up.
Yep.
And there's always teams out there who are giving ridiculous contracts. I don't think.
What did Amari Cooper get? He got 5 years, $120
million per year from Dallas, and Washington offered him the same deal. So there's always going to be a team out there. But I don't see the Jets going big on the receivers in free agency. Curtis Samuel will be maybe the only one, or even Corey Davis at 10 or 11. But I don't think the Jets enter that 15+ range for any of these guys.
So if you get, I like Curtis Samuel, I do, but then that's would you be willing to overpay him a little to get him in here, or would you say, you know what, we're not going to go past that mark, we just keep Crowder?
Well, it depends on his market, right? If he's reaching 13 or 14, I'm out, and I love Curtis Samuel, but the Jets are going to have a role for him in this offense where he can, last year he played a little bit running back. I'm not sure the exact position, but Curtis Samuel wins in more ways than one. So I'm willing to go 11 or 12 because I do think we're going to have a role for him.
Offense.
Like a Deebo Samuel kind of a role.
Yeah,
exactly. At the same time, if you look at the draft, right, Rondale Moore is probably going to hit the second round, but he also has a ton of injury concerns. Yeah. But that's a comparable player, and you're getting him on a rookie deal. So I do think it's all about the plan. Have a backup plan, something. But I'm all in for Curtis Samuel. I would love that deal. I think that's a possibility. Jonnu Smith, you mentioned it, Tyson, and some other caller. For the tight end position here, that's what we want. We want yak ability, someone who Jonnu Smith was not used all of his potential in Tennessee because they had AJ Brown and Derrick Henry.
Yep.
To get him would be
he's a beast, man.
This offense, and you probably get him at 9 or 10 million per year.
Especially if you're going to take the approach where it's we may not get the receiver that we want. Okay, then if you get Curtis Samuel and you add Smith. Mm-hmm. Dude, that's a significant upgrade to your offense. Yeah, I want him bad, dude. I want him so bad. Yeah. I do.
This offense goes from 0 to wow, we have some pieces, and then you hope.
And then you can run the ball again. How about that? That's a novel idea.
Yeah, that'd be great. I will say, I know you guys haven't come to this conclusion, or it's very 50-50. I'm definitely on Tyson's side with the whole Darnold stuff. I do think he's gone. It's not no, but I'm being serious.
Sometimes hopes go up, then they go back down.
Nothing's come out, but he's not committing to him. We're hearing all these leakings about there's 8 different teams, interested, maybe 3 for real. I don't think it make any sense to keep him. I know Gangrene David was on here. I would be on maybe his side more if we were picking 8th or 9th or lower in the draft, and if we didn't trade Jamal, because then I would say, okay, we don't have the picks, but we do have the picks. We have, I think, the most in this draft class, and that's without adding Darnold. Who's probably going to get a 2nd round pick. So, and the reality is, I do think this is a really good quarterback class. Like this is comparable to the one Sam came in, where there's 3 or 4 legit guys. I do think so. I don't think this is a class where it's like Kyler Murray and then the drop off is Daniel Jones and Dwayne Haskins. I don't see that drop off. Like there is a drop off, of course. I don't agree that Zach Wilson's quarterback 1 over Trevor Lawrence, but I do like myself some Zach Wilson. I could even tell myself on Fields. I deep down just don't think Sam Darnold, can he be better if they do keep him and surround him with more talent? The answer is yes, because this past year was just awful from everything, coaching, the team wise. So I do think he can be better. But my main answer is I don't see him ever being a top 10 or 15 quarterback. I can see him having a outlier year or 2 like Jimmy Garoppolo or Jared Goff, where you surround him, get the team better, and the Jets will be a pretty good team. But I don't want to be in a scenario where Washington is right now, where they have no answer at quarterback and a much better team. I want to find a quarterback, and I want to do it like the Bills did. The Bills got Josh Allen. They were not a good team. They got Josh Allen, but they got better and better each year. And I think we can do something comparable to what the Bills did. I don't want to.
You think Sam's ceiling is like top 20 quarterback, and that's it?
That's even being generous and being honest. Because like when does potential to go out the roof? Because he did play. I know he's 23, but he did play 3 years in the NFL. And I'm not blaming it. The Jets are almost as equally responsible as Darnold. I'm not going to argue that. The Jets completely. There's been no quarterback put in the worse situation than Sam since he's been put in here. I acknowledge all that, but at a certain point, like I also blame Sam for some things, like the throw he got injured on. There's a guy wide open, Lawrence Cager's wide open. I feel like he does that a lot, and it's part of him being broken. I understand that's Gase, that's not having a good offensive line his first 2 years. I do think the line was better last year, but it wasn't top 10 or top 15. It was still a struggling offensive line, but I just think he's still broken, and I do think he needs to change the scenario. Not even what Mark Sanchez said. I mean, that's true. If he is brought back here and he stinks week 1 or 2, and when there's fans in the stadium, he's gonna be booed like no other. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't affect my decision. I want to start fresh, and I want to be able to have a quarterback who I feel like can be a top 10 quarterback.
It's all fair. I mean, I think that's the big question. I mean, how does Joe Douglas evaluate these kids? Does he see any of them as top 10 guys? Because I don't think you just take a quarterback for the sake of taking one, especially like you just said. I mean, there's no quarterback that's been put in a worse situation than Sam. So if, like when you came here, you thought he was your franchise guy that you were going to be building around. And to this point, you really haven't done anything around him other than, Becton and Mims. Those are the only 2 pieces that you really gave him to work with. So, I mean, if you think he could be better with better coaching, and there are teams calling you for that number 2 pick, I think that's something that Joe Douglas is going to consider, but he's also going to weigh it against, however he evaluates these kids. And if he thinks he's got a top 10 quarterback sitting right there to take at number 2, I mean, he's probably going to go with his own kid on a fresh contract. I think that makes sense. Not that I want that, but that's what I think his approach is.
So what do you think Darnold's ceiling is?
I personally still think he could be a top 15, top 10 quarterback. I know it's crazy for some people based on what he's put on film so far. I just don't think, that's a fair evaluation. The Adam Gase offense, running for your life. We saw Mahomes when he didn't have an offensive line in front of him in the Super Bowl, what he was doing. I don't think Darnold's ever really had that kind of chance yet.
No, and I feel that, but I still have questions about consistency. Like even Mahomes in that game, like the stats weren't good, but like he made some hell of a throws in that game. I feel like every time someone mentions a Sam throw, it's like, the San Fran, that's an amazing throw. Absolutely amazing. The Colts, right? But those are 2 games he played bad in. And the score was 31-6 against San Fran. San Fran was ready for next week. The game's over. And I understand. I'm not taking away from the throw. I'm just saying, I don't see.
Well, that's the thing that you get with Sam. You get those flashes, those moments where he makes those brilliant plays, and you just say, all right, if he could start doing that a little bit more consistently, what can he be? What can his ceiling be? And I feel like he's got all the traits. I know people are always, harping on the arm strength right now. I think that was more just a thing for, year 3. If you look at year 1, year 2, there was nothing on film that would say he didn't have the arm strength to be a starting quarterback in this league. So I still think it's just about putting him in the right system, coaching him upright, getting him to trust what he sees a little bit more. And I think the ceiling is there. I think he could be a good quarterback, but I get why people are already off that train. I understand it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fair. I mean, I think he's comparable to Jameis Winston, but I don't see – and Jameis still at least showed the upside when he was playing. Like this past year was so bad. I think you can agree with me here, Kevin.
No.
And listen, I was still on the train last year. I want to make that clear. Like I wasn't just, I do love the
What week did you fall off the train?
It was early on in the season, I'll tell you that. And it wasn't just because of Trevor. Like that was obviously and I still would like Trevor, but that's not going to happen. it was kind of reality setting in where it was, this is more than just Gase. And I know the team still like sucked, but like there's levels to being competent, and he just was not.
But early in the year, I mean, that's when things were at their worst. I mean, you had 4 new starters on the offensive line that you were trying to get acclimated, and all of your top 3 wideouts were all injured. So
I understand.
Especially in the beginning, I felt like they were, setting them up for failure there.
Actually, here's the real answer, because you know what? That's a fair point. And to be honest, our first couple of games were actually playoff caliber teams, besides the Niners, who got hurt, obviously, all in week 2. Honestly, it was when Joe Flacco came in. I know you're not going to agree with this, primetime. So he sucked against Miami. I'll give you that. When he started balling out against the Patriots and even the Chargers, where he did have a bad pick, but
here comes
Denzel Mims out. When I see balled out compared to Darnold this year, or compared, not balled out, but he played confident.
He finished with like 51% completion percentage.
Okay,
Darnold
but I watched
still
him,
at like 59%.
I watched him throw 3 touchdowns against the Patriots, and probably should have beat them.
And wasn't that the first game where the Jets had all 3 of their wideouts back?
But what week did Darnold play well in? Because even the weeks that we won, it was check down city. He checked it down to Frank Gore to win. Like, we beat the Rams because Bryce Hall got interception. Quinton Williams had 2 or 3 sacks. We dominated. We blocked a punt. Like, where was the week that showed me, okay, like Darnold, I'll give him another year, even though we lost out in Trevor Lawrence. There wasn't a week for me. There was 0 weeks this year. He didn't even throw 300 yards in one game this year, and we were trailing in every single game where the defenses they're out by the third quarter.
Again, I'm not basing his performance in an Adam Gase system where things were complete shit this entire year and saying, all right, that's what this kid is. Because like you said, like, look at his rookie year. I know this is on the bingo board. Everyone hates this, but you go back to some of those games his rookie year. The fact that he was able to do that as a 21-year-old kid with still very little talent around him. What do you have? Robbie Anderson, Jermaine Kearse, guys like that. A rookie Chris Herndon. Offensive line still wasn't much better. Jeremy Bates, who's I don't know where the hell he is right now. I don't even think he's in football right now, coaching him up. So like he was able to go from all that, and he was still, I mean, he had games that rookie year. I mean, the Packer game, we always talk about 350, 3 touchdowns, no picks. The final quarter of the year, he was one of the top quarterbacks in football. So he was starting to show you that little bit of potential. And then you give him Adam Gase, and then you take away Robbie Anderson, and then, you don't give him an offensive line. Still, we don't have an offensive line. So I just think all those things, eventually they add up and they start building, and a quarterback starts to question himself. He starts to lose a little bit of confidence. The question is, can you build him back up? And I understand for some people that might be too big of a risk to take. For me, I'm still looking at a 23-year-old kid that's got plenty of talent. And if you have a chance to, add significant number of picks by trading down, I'm all about that. So let the excuses keep going. I'll keep bringing them.
Okay, yeah, I want to challenge you because I know I'll give you respect, Primetime, because you are, I've been watching the show for weeks and you have never wavered from the Sam situation at all. But my last point is there a pick that you would take to move on from Sam? If team offered you a first-round pick tomorrow, are you moving on?
For me, it's less about what I can get back for Sam and more about what that number 2 pick is going to bring back for me.
So wait, if a team offered you today a first-round pick, you'd say no?
Because it's not just about replacing Sam with another quarterback. I'm looking at that number 2 pick and I'm saying, what can I get for that pick? And if you could have a bidding war between multiple teams and you can move from 2 to 4, like we keep talking about with the Falcons or even another team within the top 10, and you're adding multiple premium picks, that's the direction I'm going in.
Okay, listen, that's fair. I mean, I respect it. I do think we obviously need to build the team, but
so if the Carolina Panthers offer you the number 8 pick for Sam Darnold, you're going to say no?
No, I'm taking it and running with it. I'm laughing.
No, we're asking the head of the.
But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
No, it's a question. You got offered the number 8, but the number 8 pick for Sam Darnold. You saying no?
All depends on how I view the quarterback.
You got to be fucking kidding me.
Listen, this tells you the amount of belief that you have.
If you don't believe in Wilson or Fields, then why would you make that deal?
The number 8 pick in the draft for Sam Darnold, you're going to say no?
So obviously that shows that Carolina views Darnold ahead of some of these other quarterbacks. No,
I don't give a fuck what Carolina thinks. I know what I think.
Not necessarily, because at 8 they're not going to get any of them.
It all depends how you view these kids, because you're not just trading away a franchise quarterback if you don't believe in Wilson or Fields. So yes, if you want one of them bad enough, of course you're taking the 8th pick for Sam. If you're taking your quarterback, but if you're not sold on these kids, I'm not just trading away Sam for whatever.
Whatever. There's an 8th pick in the draft.
Yeah, but you're not getting that though.
Yeah, but this is a question. We're playing every other fantasy game on this fucking speculation.
but
you're a
not
loyal
that.
dude, man. You are so loyal.
It's not even about being loyal to Sam, though. It's about how you're viewing these quarterbacks
in the
coming out there.
draft.
Okay, so
Holy
let's just say you trade away Sam, you get the 8th pick, but you're not sold on one of these kids, but you take one anyway, and that guy doesn't work out. Where are you as a franchise 3-4 years from now?
Or can't you play that same game if you do it next year and trade up?
Bingo.
In terms of what?
In terms of getting a quarterback and then failing.
Again, like that's part of the thing, though. Like
same game, I know what I'm getting this year. I mean, not me personally, but like, I mean,
it's not you still have the possibility, like when you talk about next year, though, you still have the possibility that you don't need to trade all those picks to move up and get your quarterback.
So you think Sam's gonna be that bad under, like, with all the free agent additions, better coaching? You think we're gonna be still in the top 3? Then you get rid of Darnold.
No. What I mean is that if Sam plays well, you have all those assets now that you're not using to go get a quarterback. You're actually building the rest of your team around Darnold now.
But if Darnold
instead of having
one last thing. If Darnold does have, let's say, a decent year, right? Let's say he throws, 25 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
It'd be a miracle.
Yeah, it would be a miracle. And I still wouldn't feel good about extending him.
No, yes, you would. 25 touchdowns to 12 interceptions.
I still
Prime time have him in the Hall of Fame.
No, he would, but because that's
his second year with Gase. Didn't he have like 19 and 11 or something like that when he missed 3 games with Mono?
19 and 13 or something. But
that was close.
No, but 20.
If he had those extra 3 games to miss with Mono, he's right around those numbers.
I don't even think he's gonna hit that. I don't think he's gonna be here next year. But like that, I'm just playing hypothetical. I still wouldn't feel good about extending him.
Ryan, excellent call. You're a top candidate.
The bigger thing is whether or not they pick up the 5th-year option, though. I think
I would be scared to do that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind it.
Well, we know
because then that'd be another year of this fucking podcast talking about this.
You gotta wonder though if they want to trade him. I mean, would a team that's acquiring him, would they want that 5th-year option in play?
I'm sure they would, because
he'll be traded by then. He'll be gone by then.
Will he?
What May 9th is the deadline?
It's right after the draft, isn't it?
He'll be gone before the draft.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's traded next week, to be honest.
Of course you are.
I mean, I'm not opposed to tomorrow.
You know what? Like, besides primetime, like the Dan Orlovsky stuff, it's just annoying every week. Like he can't stay out of the news.
This is our own Dan Orlovsky right here. We have our own Dan
though?
Orlovsky right there. That's him.
No, I know, but
Dan's
I don't mind when you do a primetime. I actually like it because I like when people come on here and either agree with you or challenge you. I enjoy it.
It's exhausting, man.
But it is exhausting hearing about it every single. I'm sure it's exhausting for Sam too. He's not even on Twitter, but he's brought up every day, and this guy does like nothing. Like he's not on social media. That's what I mean. It's on Instagram, but Sam's a quiet California guy. So
that's what you need in New York. That quiet, calm demeanor.
No, give me a break.
Not
Ryan,
anything.
I wanted to go all in. I wanted to believe, man. I gave him 2 years. I was still in this year, and then this year was so bad. I'm out.
Me too. I'm out. Ryan, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Have a good night, guys.
You too. Prime time with some Dan. We got he dropped off. Oh, there he is. We got Dylan. Dylan, what's up, man? I'm mute, man.
I'm muted.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. Kind of like going back to what like Ryan was saying, like you wouldn't take Kevin, you wouldn't take the 8th round pick in the 1st round for Sam Darnold. Like you wouldn't do that.
In the draft for Sam
Darnold.
I'm
sorry. Yeah, the 8th overall pick. If what Tyson just said, like if the Jets, it's not realistic, but if the Jets traded Sam Darnold to the Panthers for the 8th round pick, right, a premier pick, you wouldn't take it. Not for the sake of Sam Darnold, for the sake of the Jets' future.
Like I said, it's all about how you evaluate the quarterbacks coming out. Because if you still think Sam is your guy potentially, then why are you trading him?
Yes, but he isn't though. Let's just say they decide he isn't, right? And they trade him. You wouldn't take that?
Of course I would. If that's the Well,
okay.
If you're trading him, then yeah. If you're trading him, of course. I mean, you're not getting that though.
But the question more is the prime time. Do you believe in somebody enough to take Zach Wilson or somebody at 2 and then trade Sam for the 8th pick in the draft? Do you, based on your deep dive in the tape, is there a rookie quarterback right now you feel comfortable taking at 2 where you can trade down Darnold for number 8 pick?
See, but you're weighing 8th overall for Darnold, which is, again, that's very attractive, plus the money that you would get from resetting the contract or whatever you could get for trading back from 2, which I think you continue to underestimate what we're going to be able to get.
No, but that's not my question. That's not my question at all.
But you have to weigh those options.
No, but that's not my question, though. My question is, after you evaluate these rookie quarterbacks, you made videos on them.
Yeah.
Are there any of them that you feel, Mr. Primetime, feel comfortable taking at 2 where you can trade Darnold at 8?
I don't personally love any of these quarterbacks at 2.
So your answer is you don't
Fields is going to. I think Fields is going to be a good starter in this league. I think Wilson has plenty of boom or bust potential. But taking either guy at 2, I'm not completely sold on. No.
So then your answer is you would not trade Darnold. You would ignore that pick for the 8th pick. Then say, you know what, I'm keeping Darnold. I'm just going to trade back and rebuild that way.
Well, yeah, because I'm probably going to get more than just 1 first-round pick by trading down from 2.
Like, let's say, like, for the sake of the Jets, right? They said, okay, we don't want Sam. We want to trade him, right? And let's just say, for example, the Jets want Zach Wilson. So we get Zach. We're not trading down. We get Zach Wilson at 2, right? And you have the option to get another top 10 pick, right, for Sam Darnold, and we could possibly get maybe. I'm not saying it's not realistic. We could probably get Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith, and you wouldn't take that. So we can get Zach Wilson and a top.
Of course, if you're taking a quarterback at 2, I mean, you're getting whatever you can get for Darnold at that point. So if you can get a top 10, I mean, absolutely. I just don't think they're getting that.
Oh, okay. So
it's more just about what Joe Douglas is planning on doing at number 2 and how he evaluates these quarterbacks. If there's somebody that he wants bad enough, then yeah, you're going to take whatever the maximum is that you can get for Darnold, whether it's a top 10 pick, top 20, early second rounder, whatever it is, you're probably going to move on from him if you're taking a quarterback at 2.
Yeah. So, like, I was watching a Jets Central vid last week, and he was saying it was about like the free agent profile for Joe Thuney, and he was saying like a possible deal could be for him, in his opinion, 4 to 5 years for $60 million. How would you guys feel about that?
It's about right.
Yep.
That's about the going rate.
Yeah.
Man. If you want to get him, you're gonna pay big money, dude. Big money.
And considering that Brandon Scherf got franchise tag, I think today. It's going to be the race for it's going to be like the race for him. And like Tyson, you were saying earlier how Giannu Smith, I think, from the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
Yeah, I've also read that too. Like, he's very versatile. He can work in the run game. He can actually catch a ball. He's very reliable.
Novel idea, right? A tight end that can catch the football.
Yeah. And he's actually a very decent blocking tight end as well.
Yep.
And also, I think someone in the chat also mentions Carl Lawson from the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep.
He only had 5.5 sacks, but he had 32 QB hits.
Yeah.
He had 32 QB hits. And I think that he's very underrated. I don't think a lot of people are talking about him. I think hopefully Joe Douglas.
I think people aren't talking about him in theory because he's on the Bengals, but everywhere I look, people are talking about him, dude. Every NFL general manager knows who he is, and he's going to have a big time market. I think
32 QB hits it's ridiculous.
That's considered the Jets.
That's basically like less than 1 second after the QB throws a ball, he gets contact without getting a flag, which is ridiculous. And like I'm gonna stop the Sam slander for now, but honestly, Kevin, like if I'm being honest with you, I think Sam can be good, but I don't think it's not for the Jets. I think he kind of like what Tyson said, like he can be good, but like I think he needs a new change of scenery. I think he needs like a new quote. Just not here, because I think that like Gase really broke him, but like I think on the right team and the right scheme with the like a decent O line. I'm not like I the past couple of calls. I've been like slandering Sam and stuff, but honestly, I think on a different team, right, under the right like management and the coaching, I think he could be a decent. I'm not saying top 10 like you, but he could.
But didn't we just change the coaching around him? So I mean, wouldn't this be a change of scenery? New coach, new system.
Yes, but he's still in New York, and half the fan base hates him. Like 80% of the fan base hates him. And I don't know how much.
That's not driving.
I think he needs this new scenery, right? He could be good. I'm not saying he's like a complete bust.
He needs a reset. He needs a reset. We need a reset.
Yeah, and that's Floor and Salah and the new voices in his ear and the playmakers that'll be around him. That'll be a nice reset.
It's Shanahan. To
the 49ers would be great because he's from Cali, right?
Yep. So send him home. Let's Sam go home. That's where he needs to be.
And it's a win-win if we decide to trade him because we get like a first or second round pick for him, and he gets to go to a okay team.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of that, I think
win-win.
Sam Darnold can be good. And finally, I was going to say that kind of what you were saying before. Like, I don't think the Jets. I think one of the callers was saying that he was listening to someone talk about the Jets not spending any free agent money at all, and then they get like defense in the second round. I think the other Dylan in the chat was saying like I'd rather lose like 38-35 than lose like 10-7, because I just want to see competitive football, like a battle out in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes remaining. Like one team has the ball, who's on? I'm tired of getting blown out, or I'm tired of.
You want to see the offense return, dude. We've had the worst offensive football for years. You want to see the offense return to the NFL and become like back to the normal standards. We can watch competent, competitive offense. Like legitimate play calling.
2015 was the last okay year we had. And that was because we had Brandon Marshall, who had to get 1,500 yards like by himself. But like I honestly think that we first 3 or 4 rounds we go heavy on offense. I'd even care if there are premier defensive players. We need like depth, and like if someone gets hurt, the next man like stays up. I don't want like guys from like the practice squad or some random filling. I want like depth of the positions, because if the position group gets hurt, we have somebody that we drafted in the recent years, and they can get better and better. I think that was like a big reason why we had nothing on offense.
We had no depth at all.
Yeah, and I hope they bring back Neville Hewitt, because he played. I think he one of the guys in a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think he played the best out of the 1-year deal.
Wasn't what's his face? Harvey Lange's a free agent.
Harvey Lange, yeah, he was balling out too. But I think
he's
Neville
restricted rights though. I think they have first option.
Yeah,
bring him back.
Harvey Lange. I'm sorry. Neville Hewitt only got paid $2 million, and he had 100 tackles as a middle linebacker. So
that's why I think he's coming back. That's why I think he's coming back. I think he's going to look for
and he had two
opportunity somewhere else.
2 forced fumbles, and I also want to bring back Brian Poole. So yeah, I wish I could be on more, but college is like midterms are coming up, so I have to prepare for that. So this is like one of the few days I got to.
We appreciate you joining us, man. Excellent call.
All right, thank you. Have you guys.
Have a good night.
Bye. You too.
We'll do like what? It's almost 11:30. I can't do another midnight night tonight, dude. We're gonna go to Mr. Ruckers. I almost call him by his name. Rucker, what's up, Ruckers?
Hey guys.
What's up, man?
Are you ready for 70-degree weather?
Yeah. I'm excited.
Tomorrow or Wednesday, it's supposed to be like 70 degrees on Thursday.
Right?
Yeah, I can't wait.
It was Friday.
Ready
for baseball.
I agree with some of the guys earlier on like the agency stuff. With the the whole prioritizing Thuney. I think I really like to see that focus on the line and a commitment to building the line. I would throw. I know we talked about how this could be expensive and like costly, but I really would throw a lot of money at him. And try to really win that race. I mean, obviously, in every player there is a price where you don't want to end up, just get overpaying. But I do think we should really try it. Because I think he's a really valuable guy, and with Scherf getting tagged, he's the best available guard, interior lineman in the free agency, and we should really focus on that.
For me, I'll just say real quick, like the bigger thing is the drop off between him and then what's next after that. You got a lot of veterans that might be cap casualties. Guys like I know the Eagles guard Brooks was being talked about today, but there's still such a drop off between him and the next tier guys. Whereas at receiver, I mean, you got 4 or 5 guys that we're all talking about should be getting paid prominently, and then plenty of draft picks as well within the first 2 rounds, 3 rounds that could be immediate starters. So I just feel like that's even more reason to go heavy after him.
Yeah, I agree, because I think also with receiver, as you mentioned, is with there being more depth in free agency, I think there's also, I guess, more quality depth in the draft where you can get for receiver.
Yep.
Where with a line, there's some people you can get, but you don't know how good they're going to be right now. And if we go with a young quarterback, or even if we keep Sam, we really need the protection there to help them. Because in the line of free agents and the draft, when looking at you have interior guys like Davis, who I think would be solid. You can go the guy from Alabama, I think his name is like Landon Dickerson or something like that.
Yep.
I like Creed Humphrey, the center from Oklahoma. He could also play guard. I think those would be some nice guys, but those are more like 3rd, 4th round guys. I think they could slide.
Here's my question though. Now everybody keeps talking about Thuney. If the price tag gets ridiculous, what about the option of saying, you know what, screw this, let's go get a center instead and move McGovern to guard? Is that another option where it could be cheaper and you can maybe get more bang for your buck that way?
I would do that. Like that guy Creed Humphrey. If we were to draft him, I would like him to be the center. And then,
but is there any free agent centers that you like, the guy from the Packers or somebody else where you can?
Center? I do like the guy from the Packers, but I feel like I really like Humphrey a lot. So I've looked up a lot about him. So if we were gonna get a center, I would really like him. You know, he's been leading. Since he's been starting for the team. I think he started for the team for about 2 or 3 years. He's been the like the lead, I guess, caller on their line. So he has a lot of experience. People think he's a very smart football mind. As a center, so even though he's like a left-handed center, which is kind of unorthodox because the ball spins the opposite way to the quarterback, he is seen like as a really smart guy. Yeah, I agree with Goose with that. Creed, I would really like Creed, and then we move McGovern over.
There you go. So that's one option because like for some reason I just keep thinking that Thuney's not going to happen. I just get this weird feeling it's just not going to happen. I think it's going to be priced out, and they're going to be like, you know what, we're not going to do this. We're going a different direction. I'm just trying to figure out what that plan would be then.
Why would they get priced out?
I just think if Joe Douglas is the guy that said like, oh, I want to build through the draft, and he's going to hold like a tough market and like kind of like be like, financially responsible, he may not go. He may not be a big spender for Thuney, man. I just get this weird feeling about
if you're going to break those rules for one position or for one guy, wouldn't it be him? I mean, where else? What else is more important right now than protecting your quarterback, whoever it is?
Dude, I'm just saying. I just get this weird feeling, man. Especially with Scherf out now, it's like I'm just.
Yeah. Like you're saying, Tyson. I get the feeling that as you PT, you said like if you break the rule for that guy, I mean, I get the feeling from Douglas that he's not going to break his rules. Like he'll pay him, too. But he has his prices. Yeah. He's a guy who seems that he's every single thing. He has procedures. He's going through his procedures, and if you reach a point where he's going past what he wants, he won't do it. Yep. Because there's many different ways to skin a what is it saying?
Skin a cat.
Yeah, skin a cat.
But also you got to wonder if he could go back to last year, would he have maybe changed up his rules and gone above and beyond for a guy like Conklin instead of having
or paid Robbie.
Yeah, but exactly. Robbie wasn't really like instead of having the multiple guys that he got. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the only difference is though it's like paying Robbie the $10 million to keep him or $11 million. You're going to make Thuney probably the highest paid player at his position. That's what you're going to pay him to bring him here. Will Douglas do that?
I think he might. I think he would because he's a guy. He's emphasized that he wanted to build a line. He came in cheap last year. It didn't work.
Well played.
Never. He emphasized that he wanted to build a line, and he didn't get it done last year. I think he's a man who wants to stick by his word, and he's going to try to get it done. I also do think, with the line, this is kind of unpopular. I mean, it's not unpopular, but it's a little thing I'm thinking is even if we don't go big, I still think our line's definitely going to improve. I forgot the name of our offensive line coach specifically, but he's the one coach like out of the coaching staff that we brought in. He's like I think the longest tenured one he's been a coach in the NFL for around like 20 years or something like that.
I know like 3 people that hate him.
I was going to say there's a few people on Twitter I remember hearing that didn't like him.
My friend Mark actually hates him.
I don't know, but he's worked with some really good lines.
Benton, something like that. Benton.
He worked with the Texans when their line was really good when they had Foster, when they set rushing records for the franchise.
But he also had some years where the quarterback got building shit beat out of him too, though. Like I'll have to find a friend of mine. I'll have to bring him on. A friend of mine has all the details on this coach, dude, and absolutely hates every aspect of the hire. And has like a list. Remember prime time? He has like a list of 5 reasons of why he's not a good offensive line coach.
I personally think that he's going to be able to help the line get better. I mean, I don't know all the bad stuff about him. I have read some things, but like I do think he's experienced. I think the line will definitely improve from what it used to be. On the Jonnu Smith front, I do really love Jonnu Smith, as I've said before. Yep. The Titans were the team I watched like rooting for this year. I mean, obviously I watched the Jets, but the Titans were the team I watched, and because I like their team. I think Jonnu's really interesting. He's an athletic guy. He's fast. He can catch, but he can also block really well. And he would fit because I think Arthur Smith, the OC who became the Falcons head coach, he ran a wide zone, so he's used the same blocking scheme which we would run here, and he's very good at blocking.
So what would you pay him?
I wouldn't pay him that much. If he was going to be that,
you just gave this excellent resume, all this stuff that you're not going to pay him.
He's a tight end. He's $8
million, $9 million per.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too experienced on how much Titans really are commanding in the market right now, so I will not pretend to have like a number in my mind. But I do know that I wouldn't overpay for him. You know, he's a guy where if he comes for a decent contract, I would definitely pull the trigger on it. Because, you know, he showed up big in some games, but in some games he disappeared. Where, you know, Ferkser took a more lead role in the passing game and show up. So some games where he, you know, you see something really nice from him, but in other games where he didn't get as much value, or like he would not get anything, but then they'd run like a trick play and he'd get a rushing touchdown, something like that. But I do think he's a solid tight end. I do think I would pick him up and run him with, you know, him, Herndon, you know, multiple tight end looks and different sets we use.
Fair pick. Prime time, what would you give him?
See, well, I'd be willing to pay him like 8-9 per. I just don't think Joe Douglas is going to break the bank for a tight end because there's so many options. I mean, between guys like, you know, even veterans like Rudolph and Zach Ertz, you know, maybe Njoku.
Rudolph would be fun.
Yeah,
Bring
I bet
him
you'd
here.
like that one. Yeah,
I would like Rudolph.
But yeah, I mean,
You know,
I think the Browns are probably getting rid of Njoku.
I'd like
Gerald
him
Everett,
too.
I think, could be available. Jared Cook, like there's a lot of names out there, so I just don't think they're going to get the
Jared
top
Cook
guy in
too.
Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, I could maybe see us like going for a smaller end tight end guy. I think I mean, no one really talks about it, but Saleh is a guy who was a former tight end. So he seems, from things I've read about him, talked about it, because I think he played at Michigan, Eastern Michigan, whatever.
Yep.
And he was like an all-conference tight end at the time. So he seems pretty confident, and like I would assume he's pretty confident in his ability to gauge tight ends. So maybe we go for a smaller end guy, you know, like the way San Francisco did with Kittle. You know,
basically what we're saying is Joe Douglas is not going to spend any big money on any big players. We're going basement shopping again.
No,
that's in summary. We're not getting any big names. We're going to get all guys, all second wave guys.
Hopefully not. I mean, I would go for some big names. Pardon?
I said Tooney should be the one. He should be your one prominent guy, and then maybe a receiver in there too, and you swap out Crowder. But I don't think we're getting many other big names other than that.
I like Lawson, man. I like Lawson.
I don't even think they're going to pay big for a pass rusher either.
I mean,
this is going to be a real boring free agency.
They'll get you. They'll get him.
I mean, how much do you guys think Lawson would get?
He's going to get paid, man.
He's young as hell.
I mean, I think he's definitely going to get paid, but I mean, is he going to get a lot?
Pass rushers always get overpaid, man. He's explosive. I like him too.
But aren't there some other pass rushers going to be available who would get more than him though? You know, if Tampa say tags Godwin, that means is Barrett available.
If I'm Tampa, I tag Barrett. I let Godwin walk.
I would tag Barrett too. Dupree would be available. I know he's going for injury, but
Ngakwe.
Monster here. Ngakwe.
Shit.
I think even though Lawson could get
out there
paid, I don't know if he'll get that big of a thing compared to some of the other guys out there.
15 million?
Maybe, yeah. Like if the Giants somehow don't get a deal done with Leonard, even though they've been trying without it getting done, you know, he can be available, and he had a pretty good year. Some team might take a try on him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. See what happens. Week away, man. Week away, and then all this chaos begins. We can overreact, and we can win the offseason again. Hopefully.
Yeah,
we do every year.
Agency starts though.
Rutgers, good talking to you, man.
All right, nice talking to you guys.
Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, prime time. I'll wrap this up. 11:30. It's late as hell.
Fucking tired.
I'm exhausted, dude. I'm up at 5:30 in the morning. So tomorrow night we got 8:30. Are you gonna be on, or is it me and Tyrone?
I'll be a little late again.
So me and you
every
and
Monday,
Tyrone,
Tuesday, and then I think Thursdays is what we're doing for our meetings.
So me and Tyrone by ourselves tomorrow for a little while. What could possibly go wrong with that? You know that conversation's gonna be like.
Try and get on as soon as I can.
Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. Tomorrow night, 8:30 on Blog Talk, and then probably Friday, and then we'll figure out. Yes, we're at the fight. We saw you, man. It's late, dude. We're up super early. You're on, you chipped off. We gotta end the show. It's late. So we'll get you on first next time, we promise. Have a good night, guys. See you guys later.
Have a good night.